Ladies and gentlemen, I proudly welcome you to Marley State of Mind. You know what the fuck it is. You know what time it is, motherfucker. Let's go. It's a motherfucking podcast. Yeah, it's a motherfucking podcast. Hey, it's a goddamn podcast. Yeah, go. It's a motherfucking podcast, bitch. Yeah, it's a podcast, bitch. It's a goddamn podcast.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome to the world's dopest podcast, Marley State of Mind. We're here at a bunch of Bull Studios as always on a Saturday for you, and we got a special guest in the house, Mr.724 himself, JP.
What's up?
My
Thanks
brother.
for having me.
Hey man, I appreciate you coming and joining me for real.
I appreciate you having me, man. I love it here.
I didn't even think I can get you to come down to do something like this for real,
Yeah,
bro.
I came out of retirement for this one.
Yeah, that's fire, man. I'm sure the people are excited to hear from you and
Definitely.
a lot of stuff you have to offer. And initially, when we first started talking about it, it was just going to be a conversation.
Yeah,
Me, you, and Jess was going to get together and bust it up. And he was like, we might as well just get it on camera. And,
for sure.
and hopefully it benefits some of the people out here
Yeah.
to hear your story.
Yeah, I hope somebody can benefit from it, learn from it, want to hustle from it,
Yeah.
whatever it does.
Yeah. And I hope the same, man. And that's a lot of what this platform is for me is I want to come here and I want to be able to provide knowledge for artists coming up, as well, give insight to the people that I have on here, give people a peek into their career, because everyone I bring up here I always have a close connection and have a lot of admiration and appreciation for those individuals. And you most certainly was a pivotal part of a lot of my early career in the music and helped me and help be the springboard for me to do a lot of other things. And I appreciate you and want to give you your kudos and flowers for that, bro.
This band's always kept it 100 since the MySpace days. So,
yeah.
I mean, we've always had a good relationship. So, I mean, I love it. Like,
what up, Perp?
What's up, Perp?
Yeah, no, 100%, bro. And the funny thing is, so, I like to take a journey into the artist's career and their life and how they begin to get into music. And the first time, and I also like to say how I come to find the artist. So the first time I found you, I just came home from doing the bid, and I just got on the music scene myself, and me and Sean linked up.
Yeah.
And Sean was kind of put me in tune because Sean Ski, shout out Sean Ski. What up, bro?
Yeah, shout out.
He's always been in tune to everything that goes on locally. Bro always has his ears and knows what's going on.
Yeah.
Bro's crazy with it.
Sounds like me.
Yeah. No, you guys have a lot of similarities to me in that regard too, but he always has his ears to the street. And he told me about you. And I'm not gonna lie, bro. I was so mad that you were Mr.724. I was so mad that you were rapper because right before I went in, I was doing music.
Yeah.
And I wanted to represent Fayette County. I wanted to have the 724 on my back.
Yeah, for sure.
And when I got out, I was like, damn, like who is he to think that he can claim Mr.724? You know what I mean? Keeping the whole way funky, right?
You ain't the only one either.
No, I'm sure. I'm sure a lot of people were hot about that. And I think you and I had a conversation about it, and you said it in a way that I couldn't help but respect. And anytime anyone said anything about it to me, and if they felt the way, I explained exactly how you explained it to me.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong for misquoting, and we'll definitely get into this. But you said the reason that you took that moniker of Mr.724 is because you wanted to bring light to the area.
Yeah.
You wanted to let people, you wanted to represent, and for people outside of the area that heard of you, you wanted them to tune into the area to hear more artists from the 724. It wasn't an egotistical thing or a braggadocious thing.
I might be cocky when I rap, but it was never that. I've always been pretty humble, and at least I believe so. And I just wanted to bring light to this area. The 412, even at that time, didn't have a lot of light, but it had more than what we had.
Right.
So I just wanted to bring more light to this area with more things, and hopefully that. That was never to be like, hey, I'm the best out of the 724, which a lot of people took that.
That's how I took it at first initially. And so I was like, what the hell? Yeah.
Some dude out of Aliquippa dissed me out of nowhere for that.
Like, damn, bro, I didn't even know y'all was 724 up there. I didn't even know y'all did that.
I really didn't know that. I learned that day.
That's hilarious. No, but it's funny how people take things personally. And I guess that just shows the passion in those artists. And I'm glad that we can look back and laugh on that now and go back into it. But yeah, let's take the people on a journey. For you in hip hop and music, when was it that you realized that this was something you wanted to be a part of? This is something you wanted to do. What up, Steve?
Hey, what's up, Steve? Love you too, bro, man. Thank you. He's a great part of what we did too, man. I couldn't have did it without him. But but yeah, man. Like, now you mean when I got into rap music, or when I got into like wanting to be in the rap scene, like
wanting to be in the music,
wanting to be in the music? Okay, I was gonna say that's two different time frames. Like junior high, I wrote a little bit, not much, but in senior high, me and Black would write a lot. I think it was in like science class.
Yeah.
we'd be writing verses and shit like that, and you know, that's kind of what it started with. Luck was doing it too, but you know, we just did that. And
did you have any idea that it can be something that you could really do? Like you could
at that
record
time
and
we
make
were just
songs?
having fun.
Just having fun with it, yeah.
You know, what kind of
was y'all writing the beats or just writing songs,
writing,
ideas?
Just bullshitting in science class, so we didn't have to pay attention.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But yeah, that's how it started out. But after that, what really got me into it, Q had a song, and he actually recorded it. And
Q Money,
yeah, Q Money. Shout out to Q.
Hell yeah.
And when I heard his song, I was like, damn, we might be able to, you know, do this. You know, someone around here is doing this. So
yeah, that's crazy. Q's one of the first artists I heard from the area.
Yeah, he's
on record too.
Yeah, he's definitely a pioneer.
Yeah, he was dissing my hood though. He's dissing everybody hood on the
I was
song.
going to ask you off camera. I didn't want to bring it up on camera, but
no,
since you did,
we can talk about it. Yeah.
I was wondering if you heard about. I mean, I'm sure that was floating around in the Ville.
Well, my man Munch brought it to me. I don't know if you know James Harrison, the legend, the GOAT, the greatest basketball player to ever come out of Fayette County.
I think he called y'all E-Pill.
Yeah, he said C-ville niggas, them E-Pill niggas, something.
Yeah, I remember.
I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, I'm about to make a track, but it was true though. We definitely fucked with them smackers heavy at that time. He wasn't lying. I didn't know that. I didn't know we was known for it, but yeah, we was definitely fucking with them heavy at that time too.
But yeah, he must have knew y'all good, I guess.
Yeah, I guess he did. Yeah, he said something about Brownsville. He said something about Connersville.
Yeah, he was going in.
He's going in.
But
is that the song you heard?
Yeah, that was one of them. There was two of them. That was one of them. Yeah, once he did that, I just wanted to, you know, I wanted to see what we did. So we didn't have any original beats, so we just went over, when we first started, we just went over instrumentals. And then, you know, they just progress from there.
So you was just you didn't have any original instrumentals at that time. You was just doing straight industry joints,
straight industry beats at that time.
Where was you recording at?
You know, it's the first recordings we did was just like sound recorder on the computer with a little computer microphone. That was the first thing that we actually
I've been
did.
there for sure.
Yeah, no, that was
you got a one take.
That's all you get. And that's how we started. And then then I put my money up and I got got musicians friend, got like the cheapest microphone, the cheapest mixer, and we threw something together.
How'd you figure that out? How'd you figure out that's what you needed?
I just was searching and looking at stuff, and then I found a microphone, and I had no clue what anything about microphones was.
Because people need to know, like
back then.
For me back then, especially, you were certainly a pioneer in our area, because I never seen no one have like CDs, like actual printed copies of CDs at that time with real artwork, and like it looked like the industry stuff. It looked like stuff you would buy and Master P would have, or you know what I mean? Like it looked like that.
Yeah.
So
that was a big influence on me. Master P was a big influence.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Seeing someone like that, seeing someone like him come up and then just be able to do it independently.
Yeah.
Like I was always big in the No Limit coming up.
So you was just trying to figure it out. You ain't even really having ideas of what you were doing.
No, I was just winging it. Everything I did was winging it. Now once we got the real microphone, like me and Black did about 5 or 6 mixtapes and put stuff on MySpace all the time, but we finally did an original one. I think I got it here. There we go. I got my little pal here.
Yeah, hell yeah.
This is the first one we ever did that was.
Yeah, hell yeah. Show it to the camera one time.
We got to hear.
Yeah.
And this is the first one we ever did, and it was officially printed up and stuff like that.
How did that feel for you when you seen when you seen the actual printed copy?
It was great, yeah. And this, we came up in the mixtape era, so like that's what they used to look like.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And a gift and a curse, I guess, with the mixtape era. That's a little bit of both.
Why you say that?
Oh, just because I was still big on doing the actual CDs, and it was moving to free music.
Right.
And they was it was that transition from CDs, mixtapes to streaming, I feel like.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
And we kind of got caught in that. But I mean,
it seemed like you did it pretty seamlessly. Like you made the transition pretty seamlessly. Though.
I tried. You know what I mean? There's a lot of research. Like I told you before, I had to read. Like we didn't have Google, YouTube, and all that.
Yeah.
So I was reading books.
What books were you reading?
Everything to know was everything I need to know about the music industry. It's everything you need. It was a real big dry book, like
yeah, right.
One of them dry reads, like, and I hated it, but I kept reading it, like, until.
Did you read it in its entirety?
Little by little, chunks and chunks.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah,
I read it twice.
Yeah,
because the first time I read it, I feel like I missed stuff. You know
right,
what I mean?
You didn't
because
retain
it was
everything.
so dry.
Right.
And also 48 Laws of Power. Read that. I was big into reading with that type of stuff. I was,
Were you always like that, even as a kid? Like,
no, and I wasn't big into reading as a kid. But if it's something that
sparked your interest,
sparked in my interest, yeah, I was into it. So that's how we had to figure out our way through the music industry, was through research and books. Before, now you could just search it on YouTube and boom, there it is.
Yeah, you can have somebody do it step by step, directional for you.
Yeah. But when we printed up this CD, what really got me going into like the record label thing, my girlfriend at the time, her grandpap was in the music industry, and he was with Gloria Jones. I don't know if you know who Gloria Jones is.
No, I'm not familiar.
She's the original. She did Tainted Love.
Okay, hell yeah.
Yeah, you know that song.
Yeah.
And so that was her song, and it's been redone multiple times. So I gave this CD to him, and he had ties with Wyclef Jean, and he was like, "I'm gonna give this to Wyclef," and he was hyping me up like I was going in the door. You know what I mean?
Damn, that's crazy. That's a crazy, it's fast move.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like, man, this is it. I'm in it. And then like, the Wyclef. By any means, that's what we kind of went with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's when it started.
That was the birth of Money by Any Means. That was
the birth of Money by Any Means. There, yeah. So that was it. I mean, he gave me that little, just that little nugget.
What up, Sean? What's going on, bro?
What's up, Sean?
I knew you was going to tune into this one.
I appreciate you tuning in, man. But yeah, we got that little nugget. He gave me that little nugget of confidence, and that's all I needed. You know what I mean? And I was like, all right, if he thinks I could do it, maybe I can do it. And that's when I started. I started focusing on the record label.
Yeah, hell yeah. And that's crazy, like, because you never seen anybody, you didn't have anybody like to give you an example of how to be a record label, or it was just somebody gave you the idea and you ran with it.
Yeah, there was a couple people rapping at that point in time, but nothing like, there was no record labels. Nobody was trying to do their own record labels. Might have been a crew or two, but mostly just solo artists at that time.
Who were the first artists that you had as a part of your record label?
It started out with just me, Black, and Q. I mean, Black's been down since day one. That's who I started rapping with. But me, Black, and Q was it. And that was when I started because before I started the label, I wanted Q on board. I told you, like, Q was my favorite rapper out of this area. Yeah. And he's the one that put something down. You know what I mean? So once I got Q on board, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this record label thing. And I
remember seeing those videos with Q.
Yeah.
And you having all those videos out at that time, and like that was like some of the first videos around this area. Yeah.
Sure. And that's how shout out to Q, because if I was him, I'd probably be looking at me kind of crazy because he was already rapping, had songs out.
Yeah, he was already
and
established.
I'm this new guy, like, yeah, I think I can help you out.
Yeah. How did that talk even come about? Like,
he was always cool with me, and I was like, listen, man, we didn't do, like, I didn't have no paperwork at that time. It was pretty much just a handshake and and then we did everything 50-50. So Q's situation was kind of like a business partner type thing.
It was a partnership.
Yeah. And
and a lot of that was because you seen the value that he had.
Yeah, for sure. And so once we linked up with him, I did my CD first. And I told him, I was like, just let me do my CD, and I'm gonna show you what I can do.
Yeah, what you can produce.
Yeah, and if you're interested, you know what I mean, just give it a chance, you know what I mean. And he was like, I'm cool with it, man. We'll do it. And at that time, he wasn't. We did his CD and my CD at ID Labs, So we went to ID Labs. I did my
How
studio.
did you discover ID Lab?
Wiz.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wiz was big on the scene, MySpace days. So just that was the smart thing to do. If you're coming up, you look at the big dog and you try to figure out where they're going, try to figure out everything.
I remember y'all was on the Black Friday 2 Christmas mixtape. Do you remember that?
I do. Yeah.
Q had a
freestyle
song on there. Yeah.
I think he put a song. I submitted a song to him for it. And we did some freestyles, and so I don't know if any of them I never heard the actual tapes. I don't know if
I heard the tape. It was I can't remember what song. It was just one song by Q on there.
Yeah,
because there was a lot of different artists. It was a compliment.
Yeah.
So there was a Black Friday mixtape that was put together by Josh, and I believe it was DJ Motor of Taylor Gang, DJ Motor or Taylor Gang.
Yeah.
And this was a compilation disc of like all artists from the Pittsburgh area and the surrounding areas, because you guys made it there as well.
Yeah.
On a tape. And I believe Motor hosted the mixtape. Sean, if you're listening, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I know you had a copy too. I forget. Yeah. I think Josh gave us a whole bunch of copies. And there were songs by like Ray Ellis. I think I want to say Government Gang was on there. Y'all were on there as well. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. How'd they make how'd they mix an ass? I'm like, what's up, bro? Like, why ain't no on here? Like, you got but yeah, so that was crazy accomplishment within itself to be featured along all those artists.
Yeah, man. What the thing is with them first 2 mixtapes we put out, we gained so much traction with those two mixtapes. I think just for the fact that nobody was doing it from this area like that. Like you said, it was just something different. So like,
it made people feel like it was real. Like, oh shit. Like,
yeah, for sure.
I can do this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we put out QCD. We had two songs on WVAQ. We had Stunner Shades and another one with JSS, and had a sample on it. I can't remember the name of it at the time. And them were both spinning on there. We had one on Whammo. If Sean's listening, it had the same beat as Sean's. You remember that? Hold up,
wait a minute. Yeah, that was crazy.
That he had the same beat and Q had the same beat. It was on Q's mixtape, and I think it was on his mixtape.
Oh, that's crazy.
he got it on the Whammo.
Yep. It was on his Battle of the Beach.
Yeah. So that was one of them. That was something unique there.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's the thing when you use the local beats, they might have gave them to a bunch
they might float around a bit.
They might get double dipped, I guess. I don't know.
What was your impression of the scene at that time? Like, not even Pittsburgh, but just like Fayette County. Like, as you seeing guys like Sean coming up, you seeing guys like Moolah Gang. You seeing Moolah Gang and those guys moving around. Was that if you know, I don't know if you know, but was the Moolah Gang thing like simultaneous as you were coming up? Because I know you guys were like some of the first in the area.
They weren't Moolah Gang at that time though. YD was rapping. Press pretty much came from Pittsburgh, I think. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, we had the stack Man Alive joint on there for sure. Shout out
yeah, he was dope too. but yeah, man, we it was that was pretty much.
He bought this. He thought he bought the exclusive to
it. Yeah, he gave it to Q for. He probably gave it to him for nothing too.
Right. Damn, Sean.
I know I didn't pay for it. I don't know if Q paid anything for it.
Right.
But yeah, that's the way we did QCD. He brought half the beats. I brought half the beats. So I picked out like half the beats. Of course, he gave me the heads up. Like I would bring certain beats. And like I want that one.
Right.
And then he brought the other half, and we did a CD like that. But
you said they were doing something, yeah, because Press and I can't wait to have y'all up here because we're definitely going to get into that. Press was doing the Panama Records thing.
Yeah, and that's how I knew Q from that. They knew each other previously.
Right. They were collabing a lot too.
Yeah, they were. I don't want to butcher this, but I think they were called like Ill County or something like that. I think.
I think you're right. Yeah,
that was what they were called. So that was like you had us in Uniontown, them in Brownsville, and then you had y'all up in Connellsville, and that was pretty much it that I know of. I mean, don't butcher me.
Yeah, no, I mean that's how I recall it too. There might have been some other things buzzing, but that's the certainly how I seen it.
We also did we did interviews over. You remember DJ Steve Maffey Jr.? Were you familiar with him?
Don't
Point Park University. We went
up
there.
I do recall. I do recall the platform though.
Yeah, we went. He would always get underground hip hop artists. He actually found me on MySpace, and I took Q up there. We did an interview, and then we did Q song on, and we got another. We had that song on the college radio station. And Q had a lot of traction with the song Stunner Shades.
Yeah.
And it was a dope song. Like I said, on WVAQ. Sean Nice was loving it. And then and
DJ Sean Nice, shout out to him.
Shout out Sean Nice. And he and Q just didn't want to perform the song anymore. I'm sure there's songs you just don't want to perform,
Yeah, he probably didn't want to be known as Stunner Shade guy.
Yeah, and I think I always told him, man, I think that's one you need to run with. And Sean Nice told him, and DJs that they have that ear, man. So I always listen. If a DJ told me something, I usually listen to.
Try to go with it, yeah.
Yeah, but Sean always said that was a go-to. But yeah, when we shot them videos, no one was really shooting the videos like you were saying. And
did you edit the videos as well?
No, we did not edit our first videos. Shout out to Matt Burnworth. He did that. He worked for like Herald Standard. He would shoot like he never shot in the like I just knew he had access to the camera we needed.
Right.
And he had that crazy camera
equipment and shit. Yeah.
I don't know what it was called, but it was like that red-eyed, like crazy camera.
Whatever the the 4K joint was at that time.
Yeah, whatever the one at the time was. He had access to it. So I was like, so when we recorded that video, we did Champion in the first half of the day, and then we recorded Q with Press. They did the Wave. That was the second half of the day. So we did 2 videos in one day. So because how that was, we pretty much rented that camera.
Yeah. So you're trying to get as much use out of it as possible. Yeah.
Now he was like doing like he would like do live events, sport events, taping like I don't know what them things, school plays and stuff like that. So he had no background in the music videos. So if you go back and look at our videos, they kind of like couple bars will go by before the
it wasn't in sync. Yeah.
So that's
it probably didn't even matter. Y'all probably thought he was on top of the world.
We were just happy to have videos back then. Yeah, just to be able to have a video back then.
And y'all really were trying to put like cinematic things together, like really putting together storylines and plots in the whole nine.
Yeah, like the Champion video, we just kind of just wung it because that came on, like that was some of the things we did. We would wing things because we got it for Q's video, and then we were like, damn, we have this camera for the whole day. We're not gonna need it for the whole day. So we just came up with another video. We didn't really have a plot for that video.
Right.
Like Q's we already had thought out, and we had everything said, we knew where we were going to be and what we were going to do with that one. The other one we just wung it. So but that we were just trying to get the best use out of that camera as we could.
Yeah, for sure. Sound like you did too, right?
Yeah, we did. But we did start editing, later down the road. We started editing our own videos because we thought we could do better on our own.
Right.
And we kind of tested the waters with that, but we'll get into that a little later. But
hell yeah. So you're putting the projects out.
Yeah.
You link with Q. So it's you, Q, and Black, right? At that moment, represent For Money by Any Means. You're collaborating with a few local artists, but they're not officially signed to you. Other artists that Q is collaborating with.
No, we were just collaborating at the time. It was just me, Black, Q, first couple shows, and I never had a group thing. Group thing was never. It was just Q. You know what I mean?
Right.
That was my main thing. Get Q on there, and me, Black, we're gonna do our thing, and that was our main thing. But that was our first couple shows. Q would be his own act, and then we would be a separate act. You know what I mean? We didn't even go under as one thing.
Yeah, it wasn't Money by Any Means at that point.
Yeah. So, and then, well, at that time it was Money by Any Means, but we just weren't a group. You know what I mean? It was a record label. He was an artist. We were an artist. It was separate, and I think Q liked that better, which I understand why.
Yeah, he probably had aspirations of being a solo artist.
Yeah, the only time he did it for me to jump on them songs, jump on the videos.
Right.
He would rather be his solo artist.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
So you got that going at that time. So what's the next thing for you? How did other artists start coming into the fold?
Well, we started doing shows. You know what I mean? That was the next thing.
Like promoting shows.
Well, actually, Putty did the first show in Uniontown. So shout out to Putty. He brought Freeway to Uniontown.
Yeah, I remember that was a big deal.
Yeah, and it was a huge deal. And Q was on there. He was performing with Jay. Jay ended up being a part of Money by Any Means later too, but like we never signed him. He just was there.
Unofficially
official.
Yeah,
he was over all the shows, everything. But yeah, Putty did put on that show, and then I wanted to get on that show because I was like, man, I got Freeways and Uniontown.
Freeway,
I gotta
yeah,
be in
yeah.
this. Like, and then you know, I couldn't
Like,
get
how
on.
Mr.724
Yeah,
not gonna
right.
be a part of this?
So I
Yeah.
had to try to get on that show, and I couldn't get on it, and I couldn't get a hold of Putty until the actual show, and this would be, you know, this is my mind frame compared to some other people's. So I was like, I wasn't gonna be a hater and be like, man, I ain't going to that show because I ain't on that show. I went and supported that show.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I went and I was like, man, I brought the CD. I was like, can I just get one song?
You utilize it as a
Yeah,
networking opportunity.
Because this CD was out. We were just recording the other 2 CDs at the time.
Right.
Like I said, at that show, Q, we weren't officially, you know, they were still doing their own thing, or else we'd have been a part of that show.
Right.
With Q. But we did that, and Putty's like, man, we already got it set up. I can't get you on this one. You know, I understood, but I was like, man, and then I was like, yeah, part of him was like, man, he probably don't believe this white boy wants to do this, and like,
right,
how bad I want to hustle to get on this. So like after that, just being kind of like being defeated, you know what I mean? Like I kind of got shut out of that one, and I was like, man, I got to do my own thing and prove that I could do this.
That you belong.
Yeah, and then maybe on the next one, he'll see like I can do it. So I did the S Money show. I went, talked to Sean Nice. This is my CD release party for My Side of the Story. That was my first CD I put out solo. And so I talked to Sean Nice. I said, I want to do this, you know. And he's like, yeah, I can get you in there. And, you know, you got to do this. And he, shout out to Sean Nice, because he kind of gave me the blueprint of what I needed for a show. And, you know,
how did you make a connection with him?
I've always knew Sean. You know what I mean? I knew him from back in the day.
Okay.
So like I always had, he was just always the hottest DJ in this area.
Right.
You know what I mean? In my opinion. So that was not a shot to anybody else. I just always like Sean Nice.
Yeah.
And he always had all the dopest equipment and all, you know, always sound good. So I went to his house. We planned out this whole show. He's like, meet me at the VIP. So I went and talked to the manager of the VIP. His name is Chaz. And he took a shot on me. I never did a show before, but Sean kind of gave me, you know, it's all about networking.
Yeah, 100%.
I networked through Sean. Sean gave me to the VIP,
right.
You know what I mean? And then I got my foot in the door and I got that first show. And once I got that first show, man, I promoted the heck out of it. And I just went as hard as I could. And it was a success. So we had a good success. Yeah, the S Money show was crazy. And it, you know, Chaz at the VIP was like, man, this guy ain't gonna do nothing. You know, S Money coming like, no, because they had like Young Buck there, Little Scrappy was there before.
They were already getting big artists.
And so when I brought in S Money, that pulled just as much as some of the bigger artists. Yeah. And he was like, damn. So he kind of let me go after that. Like I proved myself, you know what I mean? And then after that, you know, I was like, Putty had shows coming up, and he had me. We opened up for, I brought some old stuff here.
Yeah,
opened up for Styles P, opened up for Cassidy.
That's
and then
crazy.
The mic. Then I got my wish. I got with Freeway.
That's crazy.
And that was at VIP. And so Putty put me on with a bunch of shows. So shout out to Putty. And then we did PD Crack. And that was in Uniontown. So we got on all them shows, so that worked. You know what I mean? That was my mindset. Like, let me show.
So, and it's a valuable lesson to be learned in that, right? Because you talk about the 48 laws of power, previously, and sometimes they give examples of the laws in effect. And while we're doing this, we might as well make it a learning opportunity
for sure.
And the important thing that you said is you seen that the show was going on, you wanted to be a part of it. And you were like, man, instead of hating, I used those emotions I had, but you still had the envious and jealous emotions.
Yeah.
But you turned them into something positive. And it was like, let me go ahead and support this.
And that's how I've always been. I've always been positive. When I started Money by Any Means, I reached out to pretty much everybody that was in the Uniontown area. I even think I reached out to press, and he was like, man, I'm starting to start my own thing up. And you know, and that's when Moolah Gang and Money by Any Means pretty much came out like simultaneous. Give or take.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just trying to reach out to everybody I could, and I wanted to be a unity, because I knew the bigger we were, the better it would be.
Right.
And so
yeah, okay. No, so that's so that is wow. So you're doing these big shows, you're seeing these big artists, you're networking in these clubs and things like that.
Yeah.
Is it starting to seem more real to you? Like, does it seem like music can really be something that you can use to fund your life?
Yeah. We started getting real. You know, we were starting to do things that we didn't think we were going to do that quick, especially that quick. and things were taking off. I mean, like I told you before the show, that we came up in the golden era of Pittsburgh hip hop.
Yeah.
Wiz Khalifa, you know, he was
Government
starting
Gang.
Government Gang.
Yeah.
We did shows with That's Money, Boaz, and then I did about 4 or 5 shows with Wiz. I was, you know, happy to do that. I was honored to do that.
Hell yeah.
I wish I had went Sean's route if he's still on there. I wish I had to grab that feature. We did this show. This is the Money by Any Means, a Wiz Khalifa show, and that was at the VIP, and it was either that or a feature, and I chose the show because you know you had to spend your money wisely back then,
Right.
And then this part of me was like, damn, I should have did that feature.
Yeah, you never know, but I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that might have been a good path because that's kind of where you made your lane at too, was doing a lot of promotion for shows.
For sure.
And you got to do a lot of cool features. Later on. We'll definitely get into that.
Yeah. But yeah, this is one of my favorite shows actually. This is Q was there for this one. This was probably one of Q's last shows before he went on house arrest with us, and that thing was packed. You were there for the Young Buck show.
Yeah,
it was equally, if not more, packed than that one. It was live all the way live. I don't know if you were there for that one.
I wasn't there for that one. What era of Wiz was that? Was that like
that was yeah? Say Yeah era. Yeah, he had with that first deal.
Yeah, Warner
Brothers deal. Yeah. And he was performing "Say Yeah" as his last song. So that was a good location because Wiz was always good with that college crowd,
right?
And that college was right across the street there. We did it, man. That was one of the best shows for sure. That and Young Buck for sure took off.
Yeah, no, that was crazy. So you're doing songs. You're working with artists.
Yeah,
you're making music. You're seeing these big artists come to the area.
Yeah,
you're bringing in some of these bigger artists to the area.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not quite yet. I
did the local so far.
You did the bigger local artists so far at that point.
S Money, Boaz, and Wiz, first 3 shows.
Yeah. So in your mind, what are you thinking is the next step for you? Because it seems like you always kind of had a plan. In mind, you always had goals in mind. Of where you were trying to go.
I'm going to tell Jesse that too, because he said he had a goal, you know, before we started this.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing. Every year, and it's a new year, so every artist that's serious right now should have a list of goals of what they want to accomplish. And that's something I always did. And then it kind of keeps you organized and you kind of like work towards them goals. You could have the realistic ones, more realistic ones up front at the beginning. Like, you know, if you're an artist right now,
3 shows this year.
Yeah, right. Anything like that, or be on the Dopest podcast. That should be on
World's Dopest podcast. Hey,
you know, that should be on your list of things to do
for sure.
And you should have a list of like, you know, what your goals are for this year, because you don't want to just not have anything and just wing it the whole year. You're not going to make any traction. You got to keep it kind of like, you know, you could keep it organized.
And it's more or less like even having a vision board. Like people say having a vision board.
Yeah.
Just having something that you could see, that you could visualize, that you know is real, that you know you're trying to obtain, because life will take you in different directions.
Yeah.
And pull you away.
And you got to stay focused.
Yeah. Disciplined and focused, and actually having a vision.
For sure.
Goes a long way.
Definitely. Yeah.
So you're hitting some of these mile markers that you're looking for.
Yeah.
You're hitting some of these goals.
Getting a song on the radio, that was a goal. So we got that song on WVAQ. Doing an interview was a goal. We're hitting all these goals, you know, doing our own show. That was a goal. And then
you're even putting out merch. You're one of the first dudes I know that had.
I always had the merch table up. I learned that right when I was starting out. I don't know if you remember Brick. In Pittsburgh, he brought in Paul Wall.
Trying to get Brick out here.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, he's a pillar of hip hop, man.
For sure.
Yeah. But he used to let us, if you guys are unfamiliar, Brick used to let us put our mixtapes in there, and he was the first one to give us kind of an outlet to sell our CDs.
Brick,
he was always a cool dude.
So for those who don't know, that's important. Brick is the owner of Time Bomb Shop here in Pittsburgh, and Time Bomb is one of those places. There's a few places like Stediford's. I can't recall them all, so I don't want to miss anyone.
Yeah.
If you're watching, you know what I mean, feel free to comment on those places. But Time Bomb was certainly one of those places that allowed local artists to put their music in there.
Yeah.
And he would sell your local CDs. And if you were looking for local artists, you always know the hottest local artist was there in Time Bomb to go cop their CDs.
Yeah, for sure. He had Paul Wall and Time Bomb.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that. So I went down there and seen Paul Wall because he was one of my favorites. Being a white dude, and he was not gimmicky, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like so I always liked Paul Wall. So I went down there, met Paul Wall, and you know, support Brick too. And because he always put our CDs in there. So I'm going to support whatever he did.
Two birds with one stone.
Yeah, doing two birds with one stone. And then I'll be honest, the show he was with was Paul Wall and Tech-Nine.
Okay.
And I never was up on Tech-Nine.
Really?
I didn't really care for him, but I never really gave him much. I heard like one or two songs.
Yeah.
So I went to this show.
I like Tech-Nine. I mess with Strange Music heavy. I got a couple buddies over there.
Yeah. Well, I mess with them heavy now too. I'll get into how that happened too. This is another reason, like how we get into this too. But
got nothing together.
Yeah, what's up, man? And then we go over there and we go to the show. I was like, well, I'll go to the show. I don't really care about Tech-Nine, but I'll go see Paul Wall.
Yeah.
And that's kind of an odd show, but it was Paul Wall and Tech-Nine on the same bill.
Oh yeah.
But Paul Wall had a merch table set up. Did you ever go to that show?
No.
Or he had a merch table set up, and then he had a merch table set up. And Paul Wall's a major recording artist at that time.
Yeah.
He had all big hits, everything. And this man during the show is sitting at his merch table taking pictures. He did a drop for me. I don't know if you ever seen on my YouTube. He shouted out Money by Any Means.
Yeah,
he did a drop for me. I went over there, bought his CDs. He was autographing CDs, taking pictures while the show was going on. This is the first. I was like, a major artist is doing this. Like, so just watching that hustle,
watching his grind. Yeah,
I gotta hustle like that. You know what I mean? Like if he could do it, that's just
that's where I'm trying to be at.
Well, and then another point is I said I didn't really mess with tech at the time. I'm at the show and I see all these crazy people here for Tech-Nine.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking like, man, I gotta stay and see what this is about.
Yeah.
He had more people there than Paul Wall. I remember Paul Wall. I was one of the only ones probably.
Mm-hmm.
He had this insane fan base there, and man, his show was amazing. Like I sat there, I said I was going to watch one song. I watched the whole entire thing, and I was a fan ever since.
Yeah,
and he's the same way. His grind is incredible,
crazy.
Yeah. So he gained the fan just by
being who he was.
Yeah.
No, that's dope. So you seen these artists that were successful. You seen them making merch, and you're like, okay, that's what I need to do as well. Sure. I need to start making merch.
Yeah.
What was some of the first merch that you made?
We did the shirts and the CDs first.
Yeah,
I think, and we did stickers and stuff too. We didn't really sell those. We gave them away. Shout out to Brian. He was there, and we did that. But we did the shirts and the CDs.
Was it tough to find an outlet? Like I said, now it's a little bit more commonplace to have merch. Everybody has a connect for merch and things like that, and graphic designers.
That's where my buddy Steve, he's on here. Shout out Steve.
Yeah,
like I said, I couldn't do it without him. He was at Lids. He was hustling the CDs, hustling the flyers, hustling the shirts. Pretty much risking his job because he ain't supposed to be doing that. But he believed in me as much, if not more, than what I believed in myself. So I mean, that's the kind of people you need around you when you're going on this journey.
Yeah, you need a team, right?
Yeah,
team of people who have the same goals as you,
for sure.
As focused as you are.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So we at the we get the merch.
Yeah.
We got the CDs now. You're doing shows.
Yep. Doing shows.
You're getting artists.
And then that's when I started bringing the artists in. We started looking for an artist to bring in for the new year. That was my goal for the new year. So I think we did that show March. Yeah, March. And that was one of the top things on the list to do bring my own artist in and do a show.
What made you think that you wanted to what made you think, but what about having a new artist appeal to you? What made you want to go out and grab a new artist?
Like, you mean like grabbing a major artist to come in, or a new artist like on the side?
On Money by Any Means?
You know what? I really wasn't looking. But if it came to me, I wasn't being like hard-headed, like we too good or we're anything like that. I was trying to expand to make it bigger. You know what I mean? So we didn't expand at that point yet. We did it was still Q went on house arrest, and we did that Young Bucks thing. We did the Young Bucks show.
That was the first major artist you brought in?
That was the first major artist. Shout out to Steve. That show wouldn't be possible without Steve. He put some money up for that one too to help me with that. So he helped promote and put some money up with me, and say because he believed in it that much. And it was a success. You know what I mean? We had a great time. And my whole thing when I picked an artist I wanted to do, I picked Young Buck because of big in the G Unit.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to pick somebody that I liked. That way I get to see him perform. I get to network with them.
Two birds, one stone.
Two birds, one stone. And guess what? If the show flops, I just spend money to have a hell of a party.
Yeah. Right.
Like a private party.
For sure.
That was the that was kind of the back end, you know what I mean, on it. So but we didn't Q went on house arrest for that one, so he wasn't a part of that show. So I think it was just me, Black performed, and you and Sean performed.
Yeah,
that was the only opening acts.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
yeah. And that was packed. It was an amazing show.
Yeah, no, we brought so many people to that show, bro.
I didn't release a lot of that DVD footage, and I just came across that DVD, so I'm gonna have to look at it.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
The dude that had the camera, he had that camera there. I don't know if you've seen him.
I freestyled on there. I'm pretty sure.
But he had that camera. Well, Wolfie had a camera on stage, but that was just one. You know, we used to have him camcorders at the time. He had a camcorder on the stage, and Matt was there recording. He had an official one in the back, and I never put out too much of it. I just skipped through it. But I'm gonna have to go through that and see what's all on there.
Yeah,
I might have maybe you and Sean are on there too.
Yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah.
I'll give you a copy because he gave me like 10 copies of it.
Yeah, I'd love to see what that was about.
Yeah,
bro.
for sure.
That was a movie.
Yeah.
So you're doing shows and you're bringing big artists in.
Yeah, for sure.
Were you able to turn a profit on the first show?
Yeah, the S Money show was a profit. That first show, Young Buck show. I think we didn't. I kind of was low on the tickets. I think what's it say about 15? What was it? 15?
25 admission.
That was 25 at the door, but I think you can get
15 pre-sale.
Yeah, I was a little low. I probably should have did 20. So I think we almost broke even or somewhere about breaking even. But just to bring in an artist and have a packed show, I was still getting my feet wet with the making the money off the VIP.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. How did you figure all that stuff out?
Like just trial and error, you know what I mean? Like I realized I messed up with that once, and the next one I got to do something different and just kind of adjusting to it. Just taking the lumps as you go.
Yeah, because it's tough. People don't realize when you're doing that, and they, like you said, a lot of people get a perception that you're making a lot of money off of these things.
Yeah,
they see a lot of people in the building, and they're like, oh man, they're selling drinks, they're doing all these things. Like, he's got to be making a lot of money off of this, right? Not knowing, like,
I only get money at that time. I only got money off the door. You know what I mean? So whatever came through off the ticket sales in the door, that's all I got.
You would have known, bro. You got that liquor. You would have got some of that bar, bro.
Yeah. Well, that came with the later.
3% of that bar or something.
That's what you don't know coming up.
No, hell no.
Even my first couple shows. I mean, shout out to Sean Nice, but he was double dipping on me, and I don't hate him for it. But he was getting paid by VIP, and then I was paying him.
And you were paying him as well
to be our DJ.
Damn.
And I was renting microphones off him.
Oh, he's brilliant for that.
Yeah. Sean's a hustler, man.
Yeah, he was smacking him.
And so that's why I kind of regret it, because once you have a good DJ, Sean's a great DJ,
right?
So your songs, you didn't have to worry about the song quality, the sound quality, everything was good. When you start getting into them lower end DJs that are there just to get their drink money, or
right,
the quality starts to go down, and you start to realize
you pay for what you get.
Exactly, you pay for what you get. So he was probably worth the extra money at that time.
So you had you bringing a big artist in, like it's looking more and more real for you, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know what point this came in. I don't know how you skipped over this, but you went viral before motherfuckers was going viral.
Yeah,
with the I'm So UT.
Yeah, well, that didn't come out at that time.
Really?
Yeah,
that came after.
Damn. Yeah. Because we had Champion, and then we had Wave come out, the first 2 videos, and then I'm So UT came. People don't understand, back when he shot a video back then, you didn't shoot it today and it comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, hell no. Not at all.
I'm So UT, we shot that in the summer and it came out in November. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Damn.
So that was all kind of, and that's when we had, because when we did Young Buck, it was just me and Black, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like all the mothers came after that. When we did that, that's kind of when we were working on the compilation and stuff like that. So that came. I didn't skip over it. It just didn't come up yet.
Yeah, and I remember like you were doing like YouTube videos, just like some like vlogging before vlogging was a thing.
Yeah.
Like you guys were just showing studio footage.
Yeah,
I remember the craziest thing I seen you passing out chains.
Yeah.
In the video, I'm like,
you know what?
Damn, like, I need a change.
That got everybody's attention, because
did it?
Yeah, when I got with Droop, when we did the bank book, he's like, that's what caught my attention. You're out there just chaining people like Jay-Z.
Yeah, that shit was crazy, bro. The money by any means, like that shit.
Yeah,
I seen that, I'm like, what?
Yeah, right.
Like they got the chains, like the Cash Money, like damn.
And I was big that's another one that was with like Cash Money was a big thing.
Yeah.
Watching them come up, that No Limit Cash Money era, man, that kind of made me feel like we could do it. And
were you a fan? Were you a fan of Southern hip hop? Because you
yeah,
collaborated with a lot of Southern hip hop artists. I remember I seen the song with you and Nep and Pastor Troy.
Pastor Troy, yeah, for sure.
You don't even remember that one, huh? No, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. We had that one. Yeah, we did a lot of, with the Project Pat and all that. Yeah, we were big on the Southern. I was big listening to Southern artists coming up. Now, I was still big on the New York scene too. Like I loved hip hop in general. Like I was big on West Coast. I was big on East Coast. I was big on South. But I was heavy in the South once, No Limit and Cash Money came out. I was full throttle on the South. Like that caught my attention the most.
What was it about those movements that appealed to you so much?
It was just how they came up like we did. You watched them come up independently. Like the major artists, when they came out, it was that they were fed to you.
Mm-hmm.
You got to see these people come out only selling a couple 100,000 or something like that, just real slow. And then
you can tell by like your artwork that you're influenced by those type of things.
I found somebody eventually that did the No Limit, just because when I was back then, when you walked into the store, I felt like the No Limit covers always grabbed your attention. The Cash Money cover, they just were shiny.
They popped.
They popped, and they got your attention. So I liked them like that. I mean, I was probably a little late on it, but
no, I thought that shit was fire. Because like you said, that's what we came up on. That's what we wanted to see. That's what you wanted to be a part of.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we started doing more. We did after that show, we did that's when like I said, Q was on house arrest, so I had to make another move. I was still keeping in contact with him. We were doing he had a couple songs recorded for our next project, $1 Million Baby, it was called. And then I got his cover for it. I went over when he was on house arrest, took the pictures, and got the artwork done. And then
you went over his crib and took the pictures for him?
Yeah, I was everything, man.
Damn, you was grinding for real, bro.
Yeah, I was. And I did a lot for Q, man. That's why when I fell through, man, it's kind of almost like how people talk when like a relationship goes sour or someone and you lose all that trust. I lost a lot of trust in people after that. And it's no disrespect to Q.
For sure.
I just put a lot of hard work in it.
You put a lot of energy into it. You poured a lot of energy into it.
Tons of energy. I mean, I treated that CD like it was my own.
Yeah.
Like it was my baby.
Yeah, you got a lot of emotional investment. Like forget the bread part. Like it was just a lot of emotional investment.
Yeah. So we started moving with the compilation, still doing the videos. And then that's about the time I'm So UT came out. We were getting a lot of hate on local hate. We get a lot of local support at first, I'll tell you that. And then the hate started coming in with it. And then people will be like, man, they're rapping over like SoundClick beats. I think it was SoundClick back then, right?
Yeah.
Before SoundCloud.
It was SoundClick,
yeah. SoundClick. And then got the tags in them sometimes. But I was leasing them.
Right. Yeah.
So they didn't have the tags in them. And so if they left the tag in, I didn't care as long as it wasn't through the whole thing.
Right.
But whatever the case is, and people started talking crap, and then we were in the studio and I started getting with Wiz and him, and Wiz could actually like produce a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's how So UT came up. He put just like a little drum pattern in.
Was it like spur of the moment,
did
you guys plan?
I just had a hook, and then he put a drum pattern on, and I laid the hook down, and he built the beat around the hook, and that's how that came about. And we shot the video for it and came out, and then like I said, that came out. Q was in the video for that. Everybody was in the video for that one. And then that came out, and then, like you said, it went viral before we knew what viral was.
Yeah, it was before viral was a thing.
That was crazy when that came out. Like, I wasn't even expecting it. Like, we were still getting views. We would get like 1,000 views or something like that. But nothing like.
Do you know what it's at present day?
Last time I looked, it was like 70,000.
70,000. That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's original views.
Well, yeah, and that's inflation on it. I remember my man. Shout out Billy Hoyle, up in the Berg, my man. Billy Hoyle told me, like, he explained to me inflation and stuff on YouTube numbers, like that 70,000 today is probably like a couple million.
Yeah.
Now 74,000. That's where
74,000.
Yeah. So
and I tried to get it on World Star because they used to say if it went viral. What's that?
74,660.
74,000. Yeah, we're almost there. Maybe we'll get to 75 after this.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah.
But
so you see.
But they didn't. But yeah, You know what? The funny thing is, we were selling them shirts. That's the merch. You know what I mean? And people bootlegged them shirts.
Did they for real?
Yeah,
They were making I'm So You t-shirts.
Yeah, they were bootlegging them, and you know, because we weren't prepared for that. I already got so many shirts. Like, you got a discount, like, you know, you get like 50. You know, there was a threshold where you get the discount.
Right.
So I ordered so many. I
just
sold
to get
them.
The discount.
And and I sold them all before that video came out. I didn't order nothing else because I just thought we got them for the video and just to promote, you know.
You didn't think it was going to be a thing?
No, we didn't think it's going to be a thing. Yeah. I don't know. Do you know why that? Do you know why it got viral? You remember?
There's a reason.
We were on Kiss FM. Yeah, that's why you gotta. We got the hate. Out of here. We got the hate with it because the what's that morning show called? Mikey and Big Bob.
Mikey and Big Bob.
Yeah, we were on the Freak Show.
Oh,
they put it on the Freak Show.
Oh, that's great.
And that's why I went viral because everybody put it on the. That was the first one to ever. That's back when Kiss FM didn't even play Wiz. you remember that?
That's wild, bro.
Because they didn't support local music.
Yeah, they do like now.
Whammo. They do now.
Yeah.
But back then, Whammo was the only one supporting.
Yeah, for sure.
And but yeah, they put us on there, and they were acting like, oh, you know, they were cracking jokes like,
because it's Fayette County.
It's Fayette County, and you know, now it's hood. And now look at what it is now.
Yeah,
like we kind of seen things back then. I ain't the most street person, you know that,
right?
But like we seen. I'm friends with street people, and I know the streets, and we seen the other side of the streets, so I already knew it was getting to that point where there's gangs around here and stuff like that. But that stuff was already going on.
Seen the evolution of it.
I seen the evolution of it. Yeah, so what I was saying wasn't too far off, but from the big city.
How much do you enjoy those comments, bro? I read those comments sometimes because so to be fair, like there's a song Seaville Claps that has the same. So I read the comments on these and I find I love the hateful comments when people are talking shit.
Hilarious.
They're hilarious. For I'm So UT. I read a comment that dude said, I'm from Uniontown. It's not like that there.
Yeah, right?
It's actually quite nice. Yo, bro, that one had me dead. I'm like, yo, this like people are hilarious on here.
Yeah.
But that shit had so many. Is that the link?
Yeah,
he put the link there.
Oh, appreciate it.
But yeah, it was.
Know what?
It was so much hate, and like you said, you got thick skin, right? Like
for sure.
Did you
I had to at that time.
Was it easy for you to laugh it off, or how did you feel when it first came about?
Well, at first I was like, man, it was like, what's going on? Because it was like you get some support and then you get a bunch of hate. So it was kind of like, man, I don't know. There was people telling me to take the video down.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Like people close to you.
Yeah. And I was like, man, I said I've always heard any publicity is good publicity. So I'm just letting it rock. That's brave though, for real. Yeah. So I took whatever I could, and I wasn't one to go and delete all the comments. They're still there. You
right.
Now.
Yeah.
So I'm not that type to go.
Yeah, some people turn off the comments. They don't even want to see
turn
it.
off the comments. You can go on there and hate on it right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I talked about Q in that Stunner Shade song.
Yeah,
I hate Tom So UT.
Yeah,
that's my song. I hate it, and because that's why everybody thinks of me from that song. You know what I mean? And that's the only thing. I'm like, man, I did a song with Project Pat.
You did a whole album with Project Pat.
I mean, I did a video. Like, why aren't you talking about the video I did with him? Like, why are you talking about I'm So UT? Right. You know what I mean?
Like
I think it became so like monumental around here because it somehow became an anthem for like schools.
Yeah. Well, actually, Well, it spurred like knockoffs of it, and I kind of got mad when I seen the I'm So AG thing because I thought they were just being like hateful.
Yeah.
I ended up talking to the dude that one of the dudes. Really? Yeah. That's how people think that like I'm not street, but I'll approach people.
How did that conversation go?
Oh, he explained to me it was a school project.
Oh, okay.
So there was nothing wrong. Like it was a school project for AG. They did it as a school project. I'm like, dang, that's kind of dope. You know what I mean? That they kind of did it.
They didn't even mean anything by it.
No. And I thought it was something.
It just turned into something.
Yeah, it was just a high school project. Yeah. And so it was nothing. And then then y'all had the Seaville clap on there. I'm gonna have to get on the remix.
That actually happened by accident too. Like it's the same thing. Like what you said. We were in the studio. We had extra time left over, and I was like, why don't we just all get on a song? because none of our verses are really about anything Seville.
Yeah.
It was just the hook, and we were just writing. Everybody was writing. Like, we
Yeah.
had no idea what nobody was doing,
Yeah.
and that's how it came about. It was spur of the moment.
Yeah, for sure.
And the song, and the funny thing about that, the song dropped long before the video did.
Yeah.
And then didn't get popular until the video.
Yeah.
One of the funniest comments on that one was for me. Somebody said, "Seville clap sounds like something you catch down a Gibson Terriers."
Yeah, and I seen that one. Yeah,
I was like, yes, it does. Like, it definitely does.
Yeah, and that was a good
Rest
time.
in peace to the Terriers.
Yeah,
They tore them projects down.
Yeah,
bro.
it's all done. But yeah, that's that was a good time in hip hop.
It was a good
for
time.
local hip hop. And we were getting real views.
Yeah,
we were making traction. We were having nice shows, and we were having fun. So that's the most important thing.
Yeah, man. And like you having thick skin helped you to maneuver through all that, and you seized the moment because you started producing more merch. Like you said, you didn't even have any intention on really making any merch except for what was for the video.
Yeah,
but that ended up being some of your most popular merch.
Yeah, we had to start making more. Yeah, and I wish I'd had, if I'd had 100 shirts printed up, I'd have sold them in a second.
Yeah,
but yeah, actually the
did the merch move more than the music at that time, or was it about even?
About even, I'd say.
Yeah.
We did a lot of them M-Bam shirts when we did those. Them moved pretty good too. But I'd say it was about even.
Yeah.
The merch might have been a little easier to sell, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it was all good.
Yeah, hell yeah. So we do I'm So UT. You started, how did you come across the other artists that you found at that time?
Well, the dude that I told you, the grandpap that was
your ex.
Yeah. No, that's my current boyfriend.
Oh,
okay. My wife,
okay.
Yeah. It was but he was at where was he at? He was across the street from them at her mom's, and that he just was like introduced me. Like I knew of them. They were called DBG at that time, and I knew of them. And he kind of introduced me, like, you need to work with them. And that's when we started recording that compilation. I put them on 2 songs, and then their first show they did with me, we did Q's release party just across the street here. I
remember that.
It's called the Tech Room.
I remember that.
And we fire coded that there. It was
me and Sean came to that.
Yeah, it was pretty much packed to the maximum. Not that it was a big area, but it was packed. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even remember y'all being there. But it was.
I think when we came, they were like making people leave. Like we came like right at the tail end of it.
Yeah. And because we had to do it earlier because that was an all ages type thing, so it had to be. It wasn't one of them late ones.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was back when everybody. Why them shows were so great. Everybody was together.
Yeah.
Q had his people. He had press there performing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So they had their support, and then he had who else? He had Casey. He did all the Jay Vicious was on a song.
Yeah.
But Black Fam, they were doing things at that time too.
Yep.
I forgot to mention them at the beginning, but they were doing things, and he had them all on there. So they all performed with Q. We opened up, and that's really all it was. And just that support from all of us being in the same building and not, beefing. It was packed.
Right.
I think we could have did a lot more of that if we all stuck together, but everybody chose to kind of like do their own thing.
What do you think caused the split?
But like I said, with the Q thing, I really don't know, because if you see, I'm just speculating because I never got it out of his mouth, but I'm speculating because I know certain things he brought up to me. He didn't like the some of the people in the group, you know what I mean, and what they brought, the
energy,
not even the energy, but their reputation, I guess, what they brought with it. One of the dudes, when we first did the champion song, he was like, yo, this dude smokes, and I was like, no, you know what I mean, and he was like, that's not a good look, JP, you know what I mean, and it was like talking about that, and that was one guy, you know what I mean,
saying he a snap,
and he's like, that's not a good look, and I knew he didn't like that. But
like you said,
he was only on a couple songs. So
like you said, you wasn't a street dude, so you ain't really know what people had going on outside of there.
I was like, how you know? And he's like, well, I know someone
that stirs on type stuff, yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, damn. And then later, some things happen, and some street things that people wouldn't agree with. One of the artists, you know what I mean, had a reputation that, you know, they didn't like in the streets, you know what I
Right.
mean? And, you know, that was another thing that he didn't like, that I know of, you know what I mean? So you'd have to get that. Like I put out a song, put my last song,
Letter to
letter in there.
yeah,
And,
I've seen that. I stumbled across that one day.
yeah, and you know, but Q left in 09 and I didn't get a phone call. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I kind of hurt. You know what I mean? Like I had to find out he was doing a CD with somebody else. You know what I mean? And like he never even called me like to try to let me know something. You know what I mean? But like I said, we didn't have no paperwork together, so I mean, I guess that's my fault.
But you still thought like as a on a friendship level, even to be
Yeah, because we were friends too. You know, on top of that, like we didn't hang out every day, but we were, you know, we see each other. We're still cool. You know, I almost came back, and I think it was 2018. He hit me up, and he was like, you know, I really like what you did. You know, I want to do something with you. You know, his best traction, basically, he was saying his best traction in music was with me,
right.
and he wanted to, you know, kind of do
Kind
that
of
again,
recreate that formula.
recreate it, yeah, because we were on something real good back then, and we did other shows too. Like I said, they were all packed at that point in time, and we tried, but it didn't work out. We'll get into that later, probably. But
Yeah.
I mean, but that's I really don't know the reason. That's just me speculating on what the little things he said.
What
We'll
up,
split.
though, Honcho?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
No.
what's up? What's up?
Yeah, man. No, that's unfortunate that it came to that in personal, you know what I mean, personal
Yeah.
relationships, and I'm sure you look back at it and you can kind of see it a little bit clearer now, but
Yeah.
probably didn't see it
Nah, I
as
didn't
you were
really
going
see
through it.
you know, and like the thing, they were starting to get little rifts in the group because Q was his own, you know what I mean? Like, because I told you Q would be performing, he'd have his own set,
Yeah.
and we would split our set.
Sets, right.
Yeah. So,
but that's how it always been with
it's
you and
always
Q.
been, yeah.
Yeah.
So they didn't understand that once I got more people, you're starting, the more mouths you feed, the more problems you have. Sometimes,
more people want to be the star. They want to be the guy.
Yeah. So, so that caused some tension too, with just trying to keep everybody happy.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, it's like coaching a team full of superstars. Not enough ball to go around. Everybody want to get their points.
Everybody wants it. That's it. Everyone wants a spotlight.
Yeah.
But we did and I'll tell somebody, you know, there's a lot of people that we did shows everywhere. You know how that was.
Yeah.
I didn't care if it was a bar. I didn't care if it was the tech room. It was called the tech room. It was a little computer room.
Yeah. It was small area. Yeah.
Small area. We rocked that thing.
Yeah.
And I mean, we had the roof coming down. There's a video, if you watch it on YouTube, the roof's falling. Like the roof's coming down when the Q did the last song, and it had everybody on it. Like it had Press, it had Jay Vicious, and it had like pretty much everywhere.
It was like an anthem.
Yeah, and they were all on stage, and that place was rocking. And I mean, the roof was really like, you see the roof coming down. Someone grabbed it and threw it.
That's crazy.
but yeah, it was fun. We did one out on Route 40. It was called the Love Nightclub.
Okay.
But when I was doing these shows, some people would be like, "Man, I ain't doing a bar," because they would think that they're bigger than what they are. You know what I mean?
Right.
But my whole thing was, I don't give a fuck where it's at.
Yeah, I feel that.
If I can go in there and make one fan, it's worth it.
It's worth it. Yeah.
Yep. So I didn't matter. I performed anywhere and everywhere. Yeah. Anybody that was going to give me a microphone and an opportunity, we were going.
No, that's the mentality.
And we were going to try to sell merch. We were going to try to make a fan. We were going to try to do something.
Yeah.
And then that was anywhere.
Do you think a lot of it was like, for me, I think you were just ahead of your time. You were just, and especially for the people that were surrounded by you, like you had a vision of where you wanted to be. You had a vision of what was taking place. And I know we spoke on camera, like people were even mad about finances of it.
Yeah.
Not realizing the business of it. I think it's important that we talk about that aspect of it too, right?
For sure.
Because people say that they see that you're making money, or you're selling t-shirts, or you're selling CDs and merch that they're a part of, and they think that they're owed something. Yeah. Not realizing that you put money into it.
Yeah.
And you still haven't even made the money back that you put into it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a snowball effect. You know, it's kind of like hustling. If you guys, whoever's watching the street, we talked about it. You buy your product and then you got to re-up. So you got to always make sure you have enough to re-up.
Yeah, at the very least.
So if you do a CD, we were doing CDs like this. I mean, we had barcodes, we had everything. It was official as can be. They would cost over $1,000 to do, and once you did that, you had to make that $1,000 back to get the next
get
project.
Some more, right?
Yeah, just to get, and that's not counting the artwork. So you have more going into it than that. But and so you had to make sure you kept enough to get the next product out. So that's always important. And but yeah, once we started doing shows, they start seeing the money, you know, and the people, and the entourage just start getting in their ear saying like, dude's making all this money off y'all, and he ain't giving you nothing. He's stealing he's stealing everything. So
And nothing could be further from the truth. Like you're not even breaking even yet.
Yeah, I'm not even breaking even on a lot of things.
Right.
And if I did make the profit, I put it into the next project.
Right.
We just kept. You saw how we did. We fired out project after project and kept
videos,
going.
everything. Yeah.
And I bought my own video camera.
And that's what I mean about being ahead of your time. You were producing content constantly.
Constantly, yeah. And that was big on me. I always wanted to make a lot of content. I felt like the most content you could put out there, the better. So that was our game plan, is to put out a lot of content.
Was that a part of your goals? Like whenever you're talking about that list?
Yeah. We would always have videos on there, so many videos, or try to get so many views, whatever it is. I mean, try to get an artist here, try to work with somebody. I mean, them were all them goals.
Do you think it made it more difficult when you got more people involved?
Yeah.
Because it seemed like you said at first when it was just you, Q, and Black, it was smooth.
Yeah, it was smooth. It was real smooth. And the more we got, the more it got a little rockier for sure. And that's just the part of it, like trying to get the spotlight and so many people. But I mean, where were we going with that one? I was going to tell you something good, but I can't forget. I forget what we were saying now. But
in terms of the artists that you got at the time,
we
were walking a timeline of saying, so you did the shows, you had to split with Q, you have other artists a part of it now, and you were under the impression that he left because he didn't necessarily click with the artists that you had around at the time.
Yeah.
Or not even from an artist standpoint, but even just some on a personal level.
Yeah. Just because Q was really in the streets, you know what I mean? He had to deal with the street,
right?
What the aspect of it. So he was, and he, even him getting in that I'm So UT video, he probably caught some heat from that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. He did.
Yeah, I think that might have been part of it too. Because he probably caught a lot of heat from the streets from that video.
And then once again, I'm sure I'm not the, like you said, I'm not the only one that felt the way about Mr.724.
Yeah,
they're probably in his ear like, come on, bro, like
yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's like I said, he never told me anything, so I can only speculate.
Right?
I feel like I have.
Hey, Q, come on down, bro. We'd love to talk to you. Shit.
Yeah, right.
Maybe give the air for it.
Yeah, maybe give you that version. But I'm trying to think where else we were going after. We were talking about the money part too.
Oh, about investing the money, and you're not even breaking. So people not realizing, they're thinking that they're owed something, or something should come to them because they see that you're streaming, they see that you're making product, you're producing product, but you're really not profiting off of this stuff.
Yeah, no.
I mean, like you said, anytime you did turn a profit, you put it directly back into the business.
Yeah.
Were you LLC'd, or did you have were you official business too?
Yeah, official business LLC.
You said at first you didn't have the paperwork. You started.
Well, I had the paperwork at the beginning for the business. I opened that up before I started anything, but I just didn't have contracts. I had to buy a book that had contracts in it to try to figure out the contract thing. But at that time, I didn't think I needed contracts because I was like,
you're going off of trust.
Yeah, and Black's my boy, Q's my boy, and like, we don't need that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I didn't want to make it any stickier. And like I said, but Q, here's my thing: if you weren't going to sign a contract, then you got to go 50-50 with me at least and be a partner. You know what I mean? So, and he never had no issue doing that. So that's how, that's what that part of it is. But
it's crazy that people that didn't invest anything felt they were owed more than a motherfucker that invested into it.
Because like on Neff's thing, I think he went half with me on pressing his CD up too, that Desperation mixtape.
Yeah.
And we did that, and we never had no issues with money.
Yeah.
And me and Q never had no issues with money. I mean, me and Black never had no issues with money.
Right.
And I haven't, that was it. And and it really was just one person with about the money thing, honestly.
It's funny because now you can you hear the stories of like Death Row Records or different labels, Bad Boy, and artists talk about how they get screwed over.
I was the Diddy in Uniontown, I guess.
But the thing a lot of artists don't understand is, as well as like, these labels are putting money into you.
Yeah.
And if they're not recouping their money, they don't owe you. You got to know what you're signing to. If it's an advance, it's just that they're giving you the money expecting a return off of it.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got to recoup that.
Yeah, you got to recoup the money. So if I put $2,000 into your CD, if we didn't make 2,000 back, we're in the red. So your project,
how am I going to pay you?
Yeah, I can't pay anybody. And then if I did the shows, I would do the shows like I would do the little showcases. We did the showcase shows. That a lot
and
of
you're not charging your artists for slots.
No,
where you might be charging another artist or have an
yeah.
expectation of ticket sales.
They were always on these bills for free.
Right.
Like they were always getting on, even with the major artists, they're on there for free. So they're getting all these slots for free,
and they're building their EPK. They don't even know it.
And that brings another situation. Like when you look at people different, when like say I bring in an artist, because this has happened before, and I take a loss, and I put up some of my own money, not the music money, my own money. Like when I take that loss, I take it by myself. You know what I mean? There's nobody trying to give me money back. And then when I get a win, everybody
got their hand out.
Everybody got their hand out for that win. But the losses, everybody's
quiet.
Yeah, quiet, turning their heads.
Yeah.
They don't really care about the losses.
Yeah, I remember we brought Bubba Sparks down here. You and I.
Yeah. Shout out to Marley for that one, because that's what a lot of people don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm gonna try to shout out everybody I can. I hope I don't forget anybody. Shout out to Steve for the Young Buck show. He helped out for a lot. Shout out to Marley for the Bubba Sparks show. I think it was the first one I did with Bubba.
Yeah.
And that created a great relationship with him, with Bubba, and you help with that show. So I mean, like, and you kind of got the feeling of that. We got dealt a wrong hand on that one. I don't know if you remember this, but right before that Bubba Sparks show, they had a Lloyd show.
I do remember that. Yeah,
and Lloyd didn't show up.
Yeah. So, you think that ruined some of the?
So everybody was mad at the VIP at that time, and that kind of damaged their reputation a lot. And that spiraled into. I got a crazy story about that. I spiraled into a bunch of other stuff. Because what happened was the dude that was supposed to bring Lloyd there hit me up like, you help me promote the show. He's like, so I kind of put it on my platform.
Oh, so you put your name behind
it? Behind it, yeah. Like, and I was there. I was up in the DJ booth with Sean Nice all night. And once I walked into the VIP, I knew Lloyd wasn't coming.
You felt it.
I just knew. I could tell. I said, Sean, what was on Lloyd's rider? He said, no, I haven't heard nothing. It's a red flag. I looked around at the security. It was just a regular security. Second red flag. I was like, man, I know Lloyd ain't. Lloyd has.
That's crazy. Hey, that's crazy. You had that instinct. Yeah.
And I told Sean, I said, Sean, I don't think he's coming, dude. And he was like, yeah, I don't think he is either. But we're going. He's like, I got to rock this crowd until the end because I don't want nothing to fall.
Oh,
you know what I mean? We kind of knew. And what happened was whoever was at the door, they waited till like, the time Lloyd would come on 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever, closed up the little box and ran out the front door. And it was, yeah. And so anyway, of course I'm mad because I got people from Uniontown that came down and was like, yo,
looking at
me like I'm a part. Like, my name ain't on this. I just said I was gonna be here tonight and Lloyd was coming.
Right.
I didn't know. So it kind of put me in a bad situation. So anyway, I went on there trying to clear it up on social media, right? And I think was Sean the DJ at the Bubba Sparks show?
Yeah,
he was.
Yeah.
Okay, so this happened at the Bubba Sparks. I don't even know if you know this. So at the Bubba Sparks show, I went on my social media, just clear the air up that I had nothing to do with that show. And I talked to Lloyd. I did the Gutta show before that.
Yep.
So I was able to get in contact with Lloyd's people through my contact with Gutta.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah. And I found out Lloyd was never coming. It was never even like a thing. So I put that on there for everybody to see, like, yeah, Lloyd wasn't coming. This is, he was never paid, you know what I mean? And that the dude that promoted that show. Now, see, that's a sticky situation because the way I was told to do ran out the door with the money. I'm thinking it was a setup from the gate, you know what I mean? Right. But when I put it on there, like, dude took offense, like I'm running his name through the mud.
But that's what he did.
Yeah. But at the Bubba Sparks show, I'm in the DJ booth with me and him solo up there. That dude comes up. I didn't even know he was in the show. The dude that was put on the Lloyd show comes in the building, right?
This does sound familiar. Yeah.
You remember? I think I told you about this because I was a little, things could have went sideways that day.
Yeah.
And I'm in the DJ booth. I have nobody around. I'm usually pretty deep. You know what I mean? At least 5 or 6 people around me, if not 10 or 20. But he caught me solo up there with Sean and pulled out a gun. I took the clip out the gun and threw it at me. and he said, "Just want you to know I could have had you tonight." You know what I mean?
That's crazy. Yeah.
And like I looked at everything so different after that. You know, like I was like, man, I ain't moving right. You know what I mean? Like
You be strapped too, though. It ain't like.
well, yeah, but I am. But at that point on,
like
at that point on, I never went without my strap on me.
Yeah.
At that point, because he could have had me. I didn't even see him
right.
until he threw the clip at me. I'd have been
That's
done.
wild, bro.
Yeah, and it was a full clip loaded. And then
How the fuck you get through security like that? Fuck security there.
Yeah, well, that's the way. I mean, I always had mine on me in there.
Yeah,
but they didn't really look at me because I was always in there.
They wasn't paying no attention.
Yeah, but I mean, them guys ain't getting paid much. You slip on $20, they're gonna let you through the door.
Right.
So I mean, that could have been it, or they could have been just cool with them. But that was a big turning point for me. Like that could have been, that could have been the end.
That could have been something different. Yeah.
And I was mad that he got through with that. Like I'm left. I'm sitting there like you. How did he get through with it? How did he get up to me with that on him? But I mean, that happens all the time.
Damn.
Did I ever tell you that story?
I remember we talked about something because it was a wild night. We talked about something that night.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying an incident happened.
Yeah.
And you was a little shook up about it, but I can't recall the exact. I don't recall that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't recall that.
Yeah, that was my one of the craziest things that happened to me. And you know what? Out of all the hate I've got, that's the first guy that ever came up and approached me with it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right.
Nobody's ever came up to me personally and said anything. Like it's always been trolling online or trolling in comments.
Yeah. Nobody
never came up to my face and said anything crazy.
Yeah, man. So that's crazy. And it shows how much you've been through this music shit and the ups and downs of it, and still going on. And so you're doing the shows. You got these new artists. You're having friction within that.
Yeah.
How are you navigating through that time?
I'm just trying to keep everybody happy as much as possible. We did trying to think. We did the Project Pat CD next, I think. And
how'd that come about, working with Project Pat?
That was the first person I worked with. I just just networking, found his number for his manager for King Ray, and I hit him up, and then I paid the entry fee price. That was probably too expensive at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a funny story too, because everything connects together with this hip hop scene. But he had a show in Monroeville or I think it was Pittsburgh, but he was staying in Monroeville. He had a hotel in Monroeville. So I met him at the Holiday Inn. I think it was Holiday Inn Express in Monroeville, and J-Pad the Juggernaut came.
Yeah, for sure.
And he had the
Jay works with a Project Pat.
Yeah, he called it.
He had the mobile studio.
Yeah. Yep. Project Pat called it the studio in a box. You know what I mean? He was like, yeah, the studio. Well, you probably saw him on the videos. I had videos in there. And
that's crazy.
Yeah. So when I seen him on your platform too, I was like, oh man, I knew he was there when I was recording with Pat.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. The his experiences with Project Pat.
Yeah. That was
Ray Ellis also worked with Project Pat. Shout out Ray Ellis.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, Project Pat works with everybody, man. Yeah. And you need people like him that gives independent artists a chance. Even and at that point, I mean, I'm sure I don't know how J-Pad is, but he's probably getting some compensation for, recording him and stuff like that. But that's how that came about. I went there, met Project Pat. He hit up J-Pad. He came in, set up the studio. I put on the track. I already had my verse and stuff on it. Everything was ready for him. The hook was on it. Verse was on it. And he laid his vocals down. I got that track, and that was it. We just did the one track. Then he ended up staying in Pittsburgh longer. And he hit me up the next day. Like, you want to do some more work, or you want to do some videos? And I'm like, shit.
Hell yeah.
I'll be down there. I dropped everything and went straight down there. And that's when we shot the video for I'm That Boss. We shot that right in the parking lot of the Holiday Inn. We just went outside and shot his scenes, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
And I pieced that up differently. If you go back and watch that video, I did his shots in the parking lot at the Holiday Inn. And then I went and got a Rolls Royce because that was up in Nemacolin at the time.
Yep.
That's actually Joe Hardy's Rolls Royce.
Oh, that's fire. That's a fire
And
story. Hell
so
yeah.
I had the Rolls Royce Phantom. I was able to get that, and so you see me pulling up in the Phantom, and it kind of makes it look like I pulled up in the Phantom to meet Pat. And the funny thing is, people were saying, "Man, that's Project Pat's car. Why is he trying to act like it's his?" And
meanwhile,
meanwhile, it's Joe Hardy's car.
right?
But then I tell Pat that story. I'm like, "Yo, Pat, you remember that? I told him about that video, like." I had that Rolls Royce, and everybody thought it was yours Rolls Royce. He's like, you know what's funny? He's like, when I get in a Rolls Royce, everybody think it's Juicy's Rolls Royce.
They always think it's somebody's bigger shit.
Yeah. So that was funny. But yeah, we end up, that project came out so quick, I wasn't prepared for it. So I just had whatever songs I was working on for my solo CD. I'm Going All In, it was called. So any song I had for that, I just
threw them at
Pat.
Yeah.
And they weren't the best songs at the time. We were just messing with the the production was just starting to come together and stuff like that. We were all new to that. And it was all, they were all original beats and stuff like that.
Right.
Wiz made. And we just fired it at him, and he knocked him out that all day. So we did that CD in 2 days and got the video shot in it the same day. We did.
Sound like he was down to earth.
Yeah, he's down. Real cool dude, man. He's not about the bullshit, but he's a cool dude, and he helps out any independent artists. Like, you got to appreciate that.
Yeah, hell yeah. Was that like a bucket list type thing?
Yeah, definitely. Like, that was one of my
legendary artists.
Yeah. Project Pat was one of my favorite artists. 36 was one of my favorite groups.
Yeah,
I mean, you could tell the influence from what I did
Yeah.
with them. So we did that CD. That kind of made everything look even crazier, because you're thinking, like, we did the shows with the artists. Now we're doing songs with the artists. Now we're doing videos with the artists. Like,
that CD still streams under, like, if you go to Apple Music and look up Project Pat.
Yeah, it's still
like it's under Project Pat too.
Yeah,
like, under his discography.
Yeah, it went under his discography and mine. So that was a lucky.
That's a good look.
Good look for me. And I learned.
You still get streams from that?
Yeah, I still get streams for that. I still get streams even on.
You even be checking them joints?
Oh yeah.
Do you?
I still check them. Yeah, I still check them. Actually, some of my later CDs did really well, so I still get some checks from the newer ones I did.
Dope.
The ones I did with Lord Infamous was very successful. That was my most successful project, and not just because he passed away. R.I.P. Lord Infamous, but it was doing well before he passed away. He just has that cult following.
Yeah,
there's
some guys are like that.
Yeah, they just got that cult following, man, and he had that strong cult following.
Shout out to them, man. I hope to get that one day.
Yeah, right.
Those guys,
they were loyal
just,
fans.
Man,
yeah,
what?
They're loyal, and and I actually.
That's why when you brought up Tech Nine, bro, I know, like, he's one of those. He's one of those artists. You just got to be around him. Like, his artists have fans just because of Tech Nine.
Yeah. For sure.
Like, you get signed to Tech Nine, you automatically come with a fan base.
Yeah. Yep. That's it. Yeah. And then I don't know how they do that, but they got that loyal fan base that just works. And that's what I was trying to do. You know what I mean? That was the whole blueprint we were trying to do. Trying to and grabbing when I got introduced to them boys grinding and stuff like that, they were called and later called Grind Boys. They were younger.
Yeah.
Me, Black, and Q were all in the same grade. We all graduated. Age group. We graduated together. We knew each other. So we kind of like we're all in that same age. And then I was like, man, this is a brilliant move, because now we can. They might have been in high school when I was.
So now you can snatch some of their.
Snatching the younger fan base up.
Right.
So then I'm like, we got our fan base. They get their younger crowd in, and we start getting. And it worked.
More traction,
and it worked, you know what I mean, for a while.
Yeah, until it didn't, right?
Yeah, it worked till it didn't. But that was my mind frame to get different age groups. So that way, when I'm
touching different demographics,
when I'm on with them, I'm getting my music to their people. When they're on with us, they're
vice versa.
Yeah, it works out fine. So that was my game plan with that.
Yeah. So you're going through the motions with that. The split with Q happens. You get was Grind Squad.
Yeah.
You get other artists. When did Nep come about?
Oh, Nep was in the picture. He came. He was there for the Project Pat CD. He was there for the Money by Any Means thing. He got in at the tail end. We actually had that we actually had it pretty much recorded. And then once I got Nep through you, shout out to you.
Yeah.
I mean, he was on the bill with them other shows with
Yeah.
223 right at
Yep.
the time.
Yep.
And he always was like one of my favorites, you know what I mean?
Me too,
Like
yeah.
he just had that the witty stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm in the down south, so he had that down south
Right,
accent, you know what
yeah.
I mean? So we had that, and so he came in at the tail end of that, and I'll be happy. This is our CD here, and Nep didn't make the cover because we already had the cover ready to
Everything
come
was
out.
already
It
done.
was already done, and I went back and put them on other. We recorded what did he put on there? Pop That, and he got on Get Retarded, and he got on a couple. I think he got on the intro and a couple other things. He got on a couple tracks. We actually took bars off of. Sorry, bars, but we took him off. We took him off like 2 tracks because
to get Nep on.
and bars didn't show up to the photo shoot when we did the cover. So we were thinking, man, he might not be that serious, you know what I mean? So this dude seems serious. Let's put him on a couple tracks, and then just politics of us all being in the studio. And he got on a couple tracks that that's how that little backstory of that. But shout out to
Nep,
Bars.
yeah. Shout out to Nep. Nas from BA.
Yeah.
For those who may not know, Nas from BA, go check out that episode. We just shot one last week.
Yeah, definitely. And I appreciate you giving me that the nice praises. I appreciate that,
Yeah,
because
a
lot of other people don't do that. I appreciate you too.
Yeah, well,
a lot of people don't like to to say the positive things about what I did. You know what I mean?
Perp, if you listen now, whose music you like right now locally that you
be honest, I really don't know too much of what's going on, just because I kind of got out of that scene.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I really don't check much.
That's
like
fair.
if I told you, if I see you post something, I check it out. So I would say you. You know what I mean? Like when I see your iTunes, and I deleted my old Facebook.
Yeah.
So I just got like my new Facebook. I just got people I really know.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like my old Facebook had like 5,000 people, and I only
Yeah,
really
just-
knew. You know what I mean? Like I was just promoting.
Right.
So I don't see as much as I used to. So I mean,
Not as much in tune with
you,
the scene.
Nas. I see Perp has some stuff out. I mean, I'm happy to see him. He's his first song I heard him on was recorded in my studio.
Oh, that's fire. Yeah.
I don't know if that was his first song. He'd be able to tell you, but the first song I remember him on was they put him on the Grind Boy CD. And
okay, that's fire.
There. And that was the first song that I know he was on. He might have did something else with him, but I don't know. But yeah, I've supported anything I see. I'm not
as much in tune, for sure. No, that's fair.
Yeah, but
so you said Nep came.
Yeah,
Nep came on a little bit later. Nas.
Yeah, we got him on. Shout out to him, and then he was there for the Project Pat thing, and then
you said it was his first song.
Yeah, I figured it was, and
I remember you told me how impressed you were by like his ability to write songs.
I still remember you can get stomped in the club. I think it was, and he was on there saying that. But that was it. Yeah. But yeah,
I remember you was telling me like damn, Nep came by and he did the song. You played it for me.
Yeah.
He was like, we were sitting in a car. He was like 745, and I'm sitting in a Honda. And he was like, he just wrote it while we were sitting here, and it was the shit that we was doing.
Yeah, that's right. That's how. I mean, that's the best music, honestly. The stuff you just write when just having fun and just doing what you're doing. But yeah, we'll share that Nep story now.
Hell yeah.
We did. We were doing this interview with the Herald Standard. Let me see if I can get. Probably get. I trapped it in.
You done buried it in there.
Yeah.
You came with. I like how you came prepared, bro. You wasn't playing.
I wanted to show receipts, man. I'm big with showing receipts.
No, hell
but
yeah.
We did this. We were on. We were on the cover. This actually is the Tribune review for the Project Pass CD, and this is the Herald Standard one. But I try to frame everything up because that's how serious I was with it. But Nep was with us. We were all in the studio recording. We recorded like 3 days a week. We kind of had a schedule, like a work schedule.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with it.
No, I was. I think I came through to a couple sessions.
Yeah.
We did a few joints.
Yeah, for sure. And we kind of worked like certain days, and it was always the same days. And then we'd record certain days, and then one day be producing just all beats being made.
Right.
So whoever's project we were working on, we would do that. But anyway, one of these sessions we were doing, I was doing an interview for the terroristic threats for the release. We got it on the front cover of the Herald Standard magazine, and we're doing the interview, and we're going through all the group members, and Nep's new to me. He was just on, I didn't know much about.
You just
Nep.
know him musically.
Yeah, I just know him musically. So he's down there recording and writing, and I'm upstairs doing this interview because it's too loud downstairs. And the lady asked me like everybody's name, so I'm going through giving everybody their rap name and then their real name. And she said, well, I give them their rap name, and she'd be like, what's her real name? So we get the Neptune, and she's like, Neptune, what's his real name? And I'm like, hold on. So I run downstairs. I'm like, yeah, Nep, what's your name? And he looking at me like, what? I was like, what's your name?
He's like, you don't even want to tell you his name.
Yeah, and come to find out,
at that time,
Nep was on the run that time.
Yeah.
The funny thing is,
we spoke about that on last week's episode. If y'all want to hear more about that,
the World
definitely watch that
podcast. You want to go check that out?
Yeah, man, check that Nas from BA episode out.
Yeah, for sure, check him out. But yeah, he was on the run, and I kind of had the feeling, he was on the run
by the way he was acting with
it. Because he, when we went to the clubs, he usually never had the ID. You know what I mean? I was getting him in the clubs.
You seen the signs?
He was
always there.
He's usually riding with me. You know what I mean? and but anyway, the way he looked at me was like, damn, why you want to know my name? And I was like, I'm doing an interview. And then like he gave me some fake ass name. And he never even explained it, like, which I understand. You're on the run.
Did you think it was fake right then and there? Did you already know it was fake? Like, that ain't his
I could just tell by his answer. I'm like, hey, his name. But I gave it to the paper. It was in the paper. But yeah, Nep will have to
that's hilarious.
That. Yeah, that's a funny video. But yeah, Nep was on the run. My man's doing shows. We're rocking with major artists.
He's Tony Yayo out here.
Yeah, we were at that Bubba Sparks show. We're on Fox 53.
Yeah,
he's on TV.
Yeah, he's doing videos. Yeah,
he's in the newspaper. My man, he went a long time on the run too.
Hell yeah,
he did a lot for being on the run. So
yeah, man.
Shout out to him. Man.
Shout out to Nep.
Yeah. He did a lot. I mean, I can't believe he got in the camera. Like when I found out, I was like, damn, he was doing it. But yeah, Nep was around that time. I think we did his mixtape Desperation, and then we were going.
That shit was crazy too.
Yeah, that was a crazy. He came with like half it already recorded, I think, and then we recorded the other half of what we had, and we put that together. Had a nice CD release party. That thing was smacking out there.
Him and Killer had some dope collabs on there too.
Yeah. And that's what I said with the fallout with Nep. I really don't know, what happened. I thought he wanted to do his own thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he spoke about it a little bit on last week's episode.
I got his version of it. You know what I mean? A little bit, and I guess our communication wasn't the best. You know what I mean? But I think what happened was he did a show and didn't include us on it, like one of his shows, and then everybody was like, man. We put him on every show, and he does a show and don't put us on it.
It was like a Ville music thing.
Yeah, I think it was, and that's kind of what
joint.
Started. Yeah, and I wasn't that worried about it, honestly. But then, I could see where he was coming from, where he probably thought things got different because, like I told you, we were out with that show with you. Shout out to you for that. We were in Pittsburgh, and we were doing that show,
Angels Nightclub on the south side.
On the south side,
yeah.
And we were just rolling with the video camera, and we skipped over so much. I'm going through this. Like my hustle was, I went and bought a camera. Like after renting that camera, I was like, I'm buying my own camera.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I went and what happened was Matt got tired of renting that camera too for us. So
he's like, y'all always got my goddamn camera.
So he bought it because he was renting it. And so he went and bought the one that I currently was using that I took. So he went and bought another one. So he
started renting you the one that he bought.
Yeah, so he would just charge us for the video.
That's
somewhere
smart.
on him.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then I got to the point where I'm like, let me buy your
renting it.
Yeah, let me buy your camera. So I just bought his camera off of him, and then we started shooting our own thing. Now we did that, You Know Who We Are video with his camera, and then that's when we started thinking like, damn, we can edit our own videos. And then so we were probably one of the first ones to start doing our own, getting the videos, and then especially recording, filming, and editing our own videos.
Right.
We did Killa's first video. I think it was called Riders. We did it on a MacBook Pro, and we just used the webcam. and that's all it was. You can go back and look at it. It looks like, you know, fuzzy a
It
little
looks
bit.
like the webcam.
Yeah, it looks like a webcam.
Yeah.
But we just did that as a, and we didn't really care about putting it out. We were just like, fuck it, we did
Just
it. We just
testing to
put it
see
out,
if you
just
could
testing
do
the
it.
waters just to see if we could edit a video.
Yeah.
So we did it, and we're like, damn, our editing looks better than what his was looking.
Right.
You know what I mean? As long as we had that camera, we could do this. So so I went, and then he recorded the You Know Who We Are video with that camera, and then he gave us the footage. I just paid him to shoot it, and then we got the footage, and then we went and edited it ourselves. And then I bought the camera after that, and then started doing our own thing with the camera. So that so we had a video camera with us at all time at that point. So, you know, that was golden.
Yeah, and like I
in
said,
that
you were
era.
doing like vlogs before
Yeah,
vlogs were
yeah.
even thing, because you were doing like day in the life of.
Yeah, we were doing things in the studio, and like when I went to record with
You did some
Project Pat,
shows. You
yeah,
did some show footage.
show footage. Yep, like when we did an FCD release party, we did that. We filmed all that and put a video out with it. They're all still on there. Stacks on Deck video, we did that. That was with the old that was with that camcorder. We did that one. But yeah, we were always into like doing the, especially me, man. I had that's probably part of my problem. I had too many hats.
Yeah, had your hand in too many pots.
Yeah, I tried to do too much. Bars helped out a lot with the editing. Me and Bars did all the editing usually.
Yeah.
Wiz would do a little bit, but usually he was just producing most of the time, and me and Bars would do the editing on the videos.
And Wiz was knocking out joints. He was making beats all the time.
Oh yeah, he would be in there. You know, that's why I say shout out to Wiz, because you know, even though we fell out, like his hustle, and even though they didn't put the money in that other artists is, they definitely put the blood, sweat, and tears in,
right,
that most people wouldn't have did.
Right.
So you know, I don't have no bad blood or animosity towards anybody. I try to be pretty positive, honestly. That's just me. But yeah, we went through there, and once we got the video camera, it was just on after that. We did videos, and I'm getting off topic, but because we forgot I kind of wanted to show people the hustle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I hustled to get that video camera because I wanted to be able to do whatever I want, whenever I want.
Your idea was to be in-house everything.
Yeah. I wanted to do everything in-house because, you know, I don't want to rely on people too much. Even the Neptune's cover, I made that cover. You know,
you started doing your own graphic
the
designs.
mixtape covers I started designing, and then the official ones I would, you know, pay for because I want them to be professional. You know what I mean? But I would do the mixtape covers myself on, you know, Photoshop. I learned a little ways around Photoshop.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I was trying to hustle as much as I could and save as much money when I could, and try to make us look as professional as I could. But yeah, we did them shows, and we did them videos, and but getting into the Neptune thing with the fallout, we were at that Angels nightclub, and we decided to shoot a video. Since we're in Pittsburgh, why not shoot a video? So we went up to the Outlook that so many other people did.
Yeah.
I mean,
kind of got Washington, Mount Washington.
Yeah, it kind of got played out because
so many
people did it, but we had to do it. We just, you know, it's one of the things. You see that Pittsburgh is a beautiful city, man. You see that view, and you just 100%. Have to take a picture. And we decided to shoot a video, so we did About Nothing. It was called. We shot Neptune's video. We were there, and we rolled pretty deep to that show, probably 20 deep. And then when we go to shoot the video, you know, there was another artist on that, you know, and I don't want to put him out there because he might not want that out there, but he kind of refused to do the video that day. And then that carload of people left. So me, Nep, and his boys were in from now down south were in. They were in the video, and then it was just me and Bars. We were the only two in the video from Money by Any Means because, you know, everybody else left. So that might have had him feeling I would have personally probably felt a certain type of way.
Is that when you yourself though sense like something different happening?
Yeah, since something's going on, you know, because anytime we pulled out the camera, usually everybody wanted to
be in front of
it. Yeah. And that was the time everybody's like, man, I don't, you know, kind of got conflicting stories about that. But yeah, we did the Project Pat CD. That was about the time we did that. We did I'm trying to think what else we did. And then we did this White Boy Wasted with Lil White.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. And we did how that came about is networking, man. It's important to network as an artist. You know, how you think I met Lil White?
Through the Project Pat connection?
Project Pat.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So I just snowballed in. I met, you know, got the King Ray, got the Project Pat, then I got the Lil White, and then I got to all the other artists. So it's kind of just snowballed, and that was what I liked. I liked them artists. So you know, I tried to be every artist I worked with, did a show with, except for one. I'll get into that too. Is someone that I genuinely like their music, and
You had some type of genuine connection
with. Yeah. Like I listened to them coming up, and it was one of my dreams to do something with them. So we did the White Boy Wasted thing with Lil White. We went down to Memphis, recorded that.
Oh, you went down Memphis?
We went down Memphis. Yeah, that's on one. We did an episode down there. Yeah, we drove.
That's crazy.
I rented a van. We went down to Memphis, and that's when some stuff started to go sideways. I think people started getting like, I don't know, the spotlight was.
You think egos took over?
Yeah, people were talking in people's ears, and a lot of things going on. We were in Memphis. Not everybody got to go to Memphis. Like I told everybody I'm renting a van. I'm getting a hotel room. This is the cost. If you can't pay that cost, you can't go.
Yeah.
Is that bad on me for doing that? I don't know.
No,
that's the way I did it. And not everybody got to go. So only a couple of us went. And I feel like that created some animosity, you know what I mean? Some bad blood while we recorded that.
So it seemed like whenever you started asking people to pull their weight, that's when they took issue with it, really.
Yeah, it's that too, and the whole money situation. Like it's all about money. You know what I mean? They took money to go there, and then they think they're owed money for what they did, and then that's what caused most of it. But we went down Memphis. We were supposed to do just the one song, White Boy Wasted. That's how it's always supposed to be. Come start that one song. We were supposed to do the one song, White Boy Wasted, and we're supposed to shoot a video for it. Well, we're already down Memphis. We're in the studio. We're in a Lil White studio. They got the like the framed Oscar, them holding up the Oscar, Project Pat's on the wall, like all this, it's unreal shit. You know what I mean? Like, damn, I'm in one of their studios and stuff like that. It's cool. He's wearing his Hypnotized Minds, pendant.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, this is crazy. And then we're all down there, and we record the song. We're supposed to record the song, shoot the video. That's what I paid for.
Mm-hmm.
Record the song, shoot the video. And dude was like, they didn't say that we were going to shoot a video. So someone along the lines jacked my money, either Project Pat's manager or Lil White's manager,
right? From
that travel. I'm thinking it was Lil White's manager because Lil White.
Because you already dealt with Project Pat's manager,
yeah. And Lil White's manager, they had a falling out shortly after that about some issues,
some money.
Yeah, and so I think he was dipping in the pot and taking some of Lil White's money.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah, and I was like, man, we drove all the way from Memphis. I got accommodations down here, like, you know what I mean? We got to do this video. Like, this has to happen. So they agreed to let us shoot the footage in the him recording,
in the
studio, and we got the in studio footage and made the best we could with it. And then we just went in the hotel and recorded the rest of our video, and we just did it like that. Not what we wanted to do, but just what we
to make use of what you had.
Yeah, that's what we had to work with. And then they felt bad. Lil White was a good dude, man, and he felt bad for the whole situation. So he was like, man, you want to work on. That's how that came about. Felt bad about us coming out there and get one.
He was a solid dude.
Yeah. So he's like, I'll do a couple, I'll look out and do a couple tracks. You know what I mean? So that's how this came about. We did the whole CD with him. Shout out to Bars. Bars shout out to Bars. He put his own money up for that. And the Gotta show wouldn't have happened without Bars. That was his birthday bash. He put up half the money. I put up the other half to
that's
make
fine.
That part. So that you see a trend, like, I tried to surround myself with people that, like you put up for the Bubba Sparks show. Steve put up for the Young Buck. Just people that want to grind and make things happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And surround myself with people like that. So
yeah, I did that with some tax money too. I had some of that good tax money.
Yeah, that was around March. Yeah, that's an income tax time.
Yes,
it's the time to flip it up, and everybody got money. So that's probably why that show did so good, because people had money to come out to that show because it was tax time.
Yes, sir.
So that's a good time to have a show if you guys are paying attention to that. But yeah, but that going to Memphis, I feel like that in that CD bumped everybody else back one.
Right.
Because we recorded that CD came up. I mean, how you going to pass up an opportunity like that? You know what I mean? And
they probably had FOMO too. Whoever didn't go, they probably had some fear of missing out. Like like something special happened.
Yeah, which is understandable. I probably want to be there too, But that started causing the cracks, in my opinion. You know what I mean? That was about the time their CD came out too. The Grind Boys Rise Above the Rest. Nep left at that time. And that's just the start of the cracks there, you know what I mean? And then that's when the money issues came about, because that CD came out and they felt like I owed them some money. At least one artist did. I felt I owed them some money. So
were you starting to lose steam, and like, with some of the wins starting to get taken out of your cell as these things are happening?
Yeah, because I start looking at people.
You start investing in artists. You start out with Q and Black, and
and that's
then the thing happens with Q. And it probably bled in, I mean, this is me being on some psychology shit, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but it probably kind of bled into your relationship with Nep, because you kind of see the whole Q thing happening all over again in front of your eyes.
Exactly. You start getting that you get that feeling, and you start having them trust issues, you know what I mean? And that definitely had something to do with it, I'm sure.
Right.
And I'm looking at people different, you know what I mean? But I will shout out Nep for this, because he's one of the only ones that after he left, me, he did his own thing. Like, he shot his own video. He studied what I did.
Yep.
And I told him, like, I was never one, how I talk to you.
Yeah.
I was never one to, like,
you ain't withhold no gain.
Yeah, I ain't withhold. I'm trying to make everybody succeed. More people succeed from here, the better, is the way I looked at it.
Yeah.
Like, if you came up and we talked about stuff. I gave a lot of people their first show, their very first show.
100%.
And I gave a lot of people their first verse, you know what I mean, that they ever recorded. Like, I gave a lot of opportunities to people in this area, I think, anyway. But yeah, that's just the way it is with that. I mean, with Neptune, I mean, I wish it would have worked out better, but I was impressed with what he was able to do without me. How much he studied. Because that's what I did. Like, that's how, I didn't go into this too much, but like, when I went to ID Labs, I was studying.
Right.
I'm looking at the microphones. I'm looking at the equipment.
Yeah.
Like, I'm listening to the sound quality. Like, can we duplicate this? And then, I went back and we did the first couple CDs there, and then we did Kill His Bark of the Underdog, half of it there, and we did the other half at my studio,
right,
to try to match it.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the test, you know what I mean? Like, we did half there, half here, and
like, how close is it?
Yeah, how close is it? And surprisingly, it's not that far off. You know what I mean? Like, our mixing could have been better. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the sound quality was kind of there, and it wasn't that bad. But that's what I did with everything. Like, I studied, the cameras they used. I studied the equipment they use, and then I tried to bring it.
Like you said, even finding ID Labs early in your career, you studied. Is like, where's Wiz at?
Wiz. I got his mixtape. He records at ID Labs. That's where we got to go. Yeah. There's a number for ID Labs. I'm calling it.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is where we got to be. And like I said, Wiz was in. We were back then. I mean, Wiz popped in our session. We're recording QCD, and Wiz just comes in the room like, "Damn, what y'all got in here?" You know what I mean? It's just dope. Who did this beat? Like, you know what I mean? He's just talking, and Wiz was a cool ass dude, and he was Wiz was at the point where he was recognizing me, because I'm
seeing you.
I opened it up for him like 4 or 5 times, and then
yep.
I got on that DJ Steve Maffey. This is funny. That DJ Steve Maffey that I told you about, he put on a show called Pittsburgh All Stars. I got footage of this.
Okay.
And it had Wiz, OE, and he put us on the bill, right? And he was like, "Man, we're doing an autograph signing. Y'all can come sign autographs." So me and Q were like, "All right." So me and Q's there signing autographs with Wiz and OE. Like, we ain't got no business being there.
Right. That's why it felt crazy.
But that felt crazy. Yeah, little kids were coming up to us. I had flyers and shit, and we're signing autographs and stuff. That's pretty dope. But you know what I mean? Like, shout out to DJ Steve Mappy. I know he was doing stuff for Steelers. He was like a Steelers DJ.
That's fire.
The last I seen him. So I don't know what he's doing now. I kind of lost contact with him. But yeah, that's pretty dope. But yeah, that's what we try to do. We try to, just network and try to find out where the winners were and try to get there.
You were watching, like, as you're going to events and you're watching the behind the scenes. You're not just watching the surface. You're saying, "Oh, who's the promoter here? Oh, who's the owner here? Who's this person?"
Watching,
connecting the dots.
Yeah, watching what everything is. And that's like when I brought up at Lloyd's show, like, once you have that knowledge, you can kind of see
piece things together.
You can piece things together that don't look right and stuff like that. And that's, I think I hurt, like I would say, I've been bouncing around, but that thing got hurt our show, because everybody's mad at that venue, not knowing that venue got,
the venue got
the venue got
yeah.
So they made their liquor money, but they got
And that
But,
does leave a bad taste in people's mouth.
yeah. So
And like you said, you associated yourself with this as not
Yeah.
being really one of your events, but
yeah, and I don't
now
know
it
if I-
tarnishes your name in
Yeah.
a way.
And I don't know if I said explain why I put myself, because he said he was going to bring other shows. He was like, I got Redman
Oh, yeah.
coming and I got Twister coming. He's like, I'm gonna have you open up. So I'm on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that's me. I should have probably did my homework a little better before I put associated with. But
Yeah,
you learn
were-
from mistakes.
Yeah, you were trying to be trustworthy. You were you were expecting someone to do the same thing you would do.
Yeah, for sure.
And everybody's not you, so that's
the problem. Yeah. So that after all that happened, I mean, we kind of split up after that. Like that's when the big split was, after that, after their CD came out and the White Boy Wasted CD came out. I mean,
but you still were moving even after that, though.
We were still moving. Oh yeah, we were still moving. I was still cool with Wiz for a little bit after Studio Wiz, not Wiz Khalifa. But yeah, but we were cool with that for a little bit after a while. Then when I started that Bankrupt Millionaire, that really did it. You know what I mean? That was like the nail in the coffin for everybody, pretty much. And
what made you decide? Because I was going to touch on that. I'm glad you did. What made you decide to like rebrand and do the?
I felt like I had to rebrand. Like I wasn't giving up on Money by Any Means. That's my baby. Like this CD came out afterwards. It's still Money by Any Means. So I wasn't giving up. I was still on Money by Any Means. Black was still on Money by Any Means. But we were supposed to be rebranding, and I just wanted to start something fresh. You know, I was getting burnt out with the Money by Any Means. I wanted something fresh. I wanted a new start. And actually, the Bankrupt Millionaire that y'all got was not the Bankrupt Millionaire that we sat down to create. We were doing. If you remember, Bars rebranded himself to Chris Mitchell at that time.
Yeah,
started doing more like R&B-ish. Music, R&B rap, and we had another artist that was gonna be a co-CEO. So it was Droop. Shout out Droop. Shout out Brandon, and they were brothers. And we went in together. And then what made me get with these people is because I was doing all this stuff myself. Then I was sick of paying all this stuff by myself. You know what? I skipped a part. This is a big part. So I'm gonna go back. The only show I did that I didn't like the artist was Duro Music. Remember I brought Duro Music?
Yeah.
I don't know if you were a part of that one.
No, I wasn't a part of that one. I do remember it though.
I brought Duro Music. I wasn't really a fan of his. I had a list of people that I could get to come for a show, and I asked everybody in the studio, like, who you think? And they all picked Duro Music, and I was like, all right, I'll go with him. And I didn't really want to do that because
who else was on the list?
Petey Pablo, that's who I was leaning towards.
Yeah.
And I just had a good rapport with Petey Pablo's people because that stemmed from Bubba Sparks' people.
Yeah.
So I already knew the connection was good. You know what I mean? I was good with those connections.
You were strong in that network.
And the Yin Yang Twins was the other one.
Yeah.
So Yin Yang Twins, Petey Pablo, Duro Music was basically the three. They wanted Duro, and I was like, man. And that's part of me thinking, man, I'm getting old. I was getting older, so I'm like, maybe this younger generation, maybe that's the problem. I keep getting this older, So I kind of went a direction I usually don't go. Got the Duro Music coming in.
You didn't follow your gut.
Didn't follow my gut, and that was a big issue. So what happened was, people don't know the expenses of this. We haven't got in there. You got to fly these people in. Duro's coming from Texas. I got to pay for his flights to and from Texas.
Right.
I got to rent a Tahoe and pick him up at the airport in a Tahoe.
Because that's special requested by him.
Request, yeah. You got to follow their rider. You got to
explain a rider to some people, because some people might not know what that is.
That's a list of demands, basically, that you got to do. They can request they want 15 buckets of Kentucky Fried Chicken and 3 pineapples in the room, and you got to have it. Or they don't have to. You don't have it there. They can say we're not performing.
They might ask for it. They might ask for a quarter or some kush.
Yeah. I had that. Yeah. That caused some issues too. Well, at the Young Buck show, I don't even remember.
I do remember. Yes.
Yeah, I had to go back and repay someone for a quarter of push because they gave it the Young Buck and they didn't get nothing out of it, and I had to clear my name,
right?
Because it was on me. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, that's the stuff that's on the rider that you gotta provide, and
These
So
are all expenses that go into bringing these artists.
Yeah, they bring in the artists, and you got to have special equipment. They want microphones, they want special equipment for their
They might want
sound
inners.
equipment. Yeah. You got to have it. So anyway, I bring Duro music in, and I can usually get a vibe for a show after, once you pay you got to put a deposit down. That's how these shows work. If people don't know about the deposit, you pay half up front and the other half in cash when they come to the show or they ain't performing. So you pay, say someone's $5,000.
That's that back end they always talk about in them rap songs you hear about.
Yeah. So you pay $2,500, and then the other $2,500, if it's 5K, you know what I mean? The other $2,500 is when they come for the show. So I paid them was $2,500, and then the whole back end, like, I could just tell, like, this ain't work. This ain't rolling the way the other ones are rolling. You know what I mean?
Right.
So anyway, we get to the show, and the show's that's a flop. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of the worst shows that I did, and I'm mad because I don't even want to see this dude. No disrespect.
You know you're just not a fan.
Yeah, it's not he had a couple songs, but it's just not something I would have did.
You listen to in your leisure, yeah.
So I'm mad, and then I got to put like 3,000 of my money up. That's lost. So I just lost $3,000. So if you at that time, $3,000 is a little different than 14 years ago, whatever that. It might have been a little different then, you know what I mean? But I lost $3,000 in one night. If you never did that, I mean, that's a bad night.
Yeah, that's a hell of a bad night. Yeah.
So I lost $3,000.
It's not even like it's gambling. You ain't had no fun with this $3,000. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I don't know if it's on my current Facebook or not, but I took a picture with Duro, and you can just see the hurt in my eyes. I was hurting, and but I'm at this show, right, and I'm losing. I already know I'm losing $3,000 going through my mind. And I'm looking around, man. This dude's up there partying, having the time of his life. These are my boys, right?
Yeah.
They're having the time of their life. They're partying. I'm sick to my stomach. I just lost $3,000. And then, when we get $300, they want that
they want their cut. Yeah.
I lost $3,000. Nobody offered
Ain't nobody
me
putting nothing in.
Nothing. Yeah. And I just looked at everybody totally different, man. Because I'm like, I'm struggling during the show. And everybody's just partying, having
time of their life.
You know what? They're partying. They open up for Duro. They're partying with Duro.
Yeah.
They're having the time of their life. But I'm sick to my stomach. Like, man, this is terrible. And
at the time, you got a family you trying to support.
Yeah. I just lost $3,000. Yeah, that was a lot of money.
You got to explain that to your wife.
And
that ain't turn out.
And she already knows because she's working the door. You know what I mean? She's working the door for me half of those shows, most of them shows actually. And then. But yeah, that perspective from that night on, just watching, like, because you sit down and you just look at things differently, and I looked how everybody was, and I was like, man, this ain't it. You know what I mean? So then I was like, so that's why I wanted something fresh. I wanted something that people, because you know what? If you don't invest your money, you're not going to hustle like someone that invests your money. So
right.
I feel like I wanted to be with people that are going to invest their own money.
They're just as invested as you are.
Not saying that they didn't hustle. They did hustle, but I think towards the end, everybody was over it. You know what I mean? They were like, they just expected it organically to come. And we didn't really hustle as much as we normally did. We didn't hit the streets as much as we normally did with the flyers. And it's that time when, we didn't go as hard for that show. And that just changed my whole perspective on everything.
Hell yeah. Damn. So you do the rebranding.
Yeah. So we did the Bankrupt Millionaire. Like I said, we were supposed to have Chris, and we were putting on another artist, and he was supposed to be a co-CEO, but right when we got to put the money up for the paper to do the LLC and stuff like that, he bailed out.
Yeah.
So we were stuck with Chris, and that was it. And now we were down to three people in charge, 3 in charge. And then we were like, man, what are we going to do?
It's already not starting off the way you foreseen it.
Yeah. So then we're back to so what happened was Droop was like, well, I'll just, I got this artist named Trey. I'll bring him in. And it wasn't the direction. Like, we were supposed to go radio pop. Like, that's what we were going a whole different avenue. We were trying to hit the radio hard.
You didn't want no street stuff.
We didn't want the street stuff. So then what happened was, then that put me back with the street, because the street people weren't fucking with me anyway. Let's just keep it 100. You know what I mean? Like the people that were. So I didn't want. I just wanted to totally go away from that and try to do the radio thing. And back then the radio still was a thing, and now it's more not
streaming.
Yeah. But we were trying to go for them radio hits, kind of like a Jack Harlow, you know,
Right.
we were on that before that, and it didn't work out. And then, you know, Drew brought Trey in. We did a compilation. Now that was nice, you know. We put the compilation up, and but there was a lot of people that didn't want to mess with me from the street side. Like,
do you think that has something to do, like your affiliation with some of the people who were in
definitely
Money by Any Means at one point in time?
For sure. And then, you know, Trey was like, I don't want nothing tied with Money by Any Means. I was like, if they ain't tied, you know, only thing tied to Money by Any Means is me.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, and Trey didn't really like me coming. He didn't like me at all at first. You know what I mean? He kind of hated me, and he hated one of the artists. They got into it. You know, there was a stabbing that occurred. You know what I mean? And Trey got locked up over it, and said, "This is why everything." Once I did the Bankrupt Millionaire, everything just split, because I'm working with Trey. It's the dude that has beef with another artist that I was previously working with. So that was like separation right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, why are you working with him? And I was like, I didn't bring him to the picture, but you know what I mean? That's who he's there.
Yeah.
They're part owners of the, you know, that's what I'm with. And, you know, I gave Trey, I treated Trey like, you know, I treated everybody. I did his first couple videos, you know, and we worked it out, but at first it was a real rocky, real rocky. But that's what, you know, that kind of divided everything right there. Like, you working with him, people
were expecting you to choose sides.
Yeah. So they feel like that was the end of it there. So you know, and that was the way I was going with it. So
where were you at mentally with music? Like, where were you? Like, were you as passionate about it? Did you still have the same feelings that you had in the beginning of it?
Yeah, I still had the same. I was still passionate about it. I was passionate about it up until the end, honestly. Like, I did this CD, this Lord Infamous, Fire and Ice, rest in peace, Lord Infamous. I did that right when I started the Bankrupt Millionaire. So I think Black's the only one that's even on here.
Yeah.
That's me and Money by Any Means affiliated, because that's what it was at that time. It was just back to me and Black, basically.
Back to the beginning.
Back to the beginning. And we did that CD. We did that CD and it did really, really well. So I was still, once I got that good, like I said, with his fan base and stuff like that, it was that gave me another burst of energy. You know what I mean? So then I did the show with Lord Infamous first too. I don't remember that. I brought him to the VIP. We did the show, and then we went down. If you ever been to the VIP, they had the upstairs and the downstairs.
Right.
Downstairs had the pool tables. It was a totally different section. So when we had the shows upstairs, if you didn't want to go to the show, you can go downstairs and just play pool and
just vibe out.
Yeah. But anyway, shout out to Chaz for the VIP. We went down. I did the show with Lord Infamous, and we went down in the basement. I had all my recording equipment down there.
Oh shit!
And because I was already ready to do a track, and then I got we recorded. Fraser Boy was there with
that's crazy.
Academy Award winner, and that's why I wanted to bring that show, because I like Fraser Boy and I like Lord Infamous. I was like, I got to bring a show here when they hit me up.
Heavy and I was 3-6 influence.
Yeah, Heavy Fleet. You know, he's Academy Award winner, so it was crazy.
Look how blurry we look. So crazy.
But yeah, we did that. We did that show, and we went down after the show was over. We went down and I had that hotel beat. I started getting beats from Lil Ari.
Okay.
That was Project Pat's producer.
Yeah.
And I feel like our music elevated from there. Just that different production, that grimy down south fit the artist I was getting. You know what I mean? And I felt like that kind of like propelled it. You know what I mean? In a different direction. And that was like the people that, you know, that like that Lord Infamous CD. I gave them that. Like, if you listen to that CD, that was like 3-6 beats. You know what I mean? If you listen to that, it's like
you were really grimy, trying to go towards that audience.
Yeah, it was that grimy 3-6 sound. Yeah. And we recorded the song Hotel. It had Fraser Boy, Lord Infamous. We did that, and then the equipment wasn't working properly. Always something.
Yeah.
And it's probably a blessing, because we just had this stuff set up in the fucking basement. So it probably wasn't going to sound that great.
It wasn't going to get you the best sound.
Yeah. So they were able to go back, do it in the studio, and send it back to me. But they wrote their verses. I got to see them. I got to see, you know, them and their process.
Do the process.
Yeah. You know, Fraser Boy, Lord Infamous, both sitting there writing.
And it probably helped that you had a relationship already with Pat and Lil White.
Yeah. Yep, and that was
You
white
had
music.
some,
They were,
you had some common,
yep,
you know what I mean, things to talk about. Some
and that's
common.
yeah, that's exactly it. You know, it's an easy connection, and you know, and that they were all under white music. Lord Infamous put a CD out with Lil White's record
His
label.
imprint, yeah.
Yeah, so that all connected together there. So I was able to work with Lil White and then go into the Lord Infamous, because when I was recording with Lil White, he was showing me stuff with Lord Infamous. And I was like, damn, you got Lord on here? And he's like, yeah, we're doing a whole CD. And I got to hear stuff before it even came out. It was
That's
pretty
crazy.
dope. You know what I mean? It was dope hearing that process.
Yeah.
And but yeah, we went into that, and then that, but I still had that fire, because that like reignited my fire. Just
Right.
seeing something like I shipped out CDs, and like usually I ship
It
out
was
the
a whole
CDs.
new process for
Yeah,
you.
I ship out the CDs usually. You know, when I shipped out the CDs, the like CD Baby I was going through at the time, they were like, you know, send 5 CDs. You know what I mean? Because that's what they normally do. And I sent the 5 CDs for Lord Infamous. And when they released, they were like, "Yo, we need like 300 more of these."
Damn.
And like immediately, and I was like, "Damn," you know what I mean? I didn't.
Yeah.
So I rushed and got them 300 CDs and then sent them over there. And then that CD kind of just took off, and it was nice to finally get a win on the CD. And you know what I mean? Got some wins on the shows, but to get the win on the CD and was nice. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Hell yeah.
And then he passed away, and you know, that kind of, you know, inflates the numbers even more. You know,
Because
unfortunately,
people new people were finding
yeah,
them that didn't know about him
yeah,
before.
they didn't know about it, and they're googling his name and trying to see, you know,
Catch up on his catalog.
catch up on the catalog, and found out that's, you know, so a blessing and a curse, you know, with that. Like, you don't want to see someone pass away or
No,
anything
never.
like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that brought a whole nother, you know,
Light into
wave.
what you were doing.
Yeah, wave into it. Yeah. So we did that CD. That was still, you know, I still putting music out on Money by Any Means and doing the Bankrupt Millionaires thing. But we did that, you know, we did the things with Trey. I think I got a flyer here. We did the volume 1, and we kind of got Q back on board. He was on the volume 1.
That's fire.
We got Big Norm, who didn't really rock with me much, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
JSS, and because we kind of had a falling out when one of my shows, you know, at the first shows we did, but we got back together, and you know, we worked things out. So this was a difficult thing for a lot of people to do, because
there was so much friction.
There's so much friction, yeah. And people would get heat for working with me. I don't know why, but they would. You know what I mean? And they would get that.
Why do you think it is?
A lot of it was, you know, I don't know, man. I think it's you know, some of it was the company I kept. Some of it was they don't want to see me succeed. Some of them maybe because I'm white. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's it. You probably know more than me. You probably hear more than I do. But
probably not. I probably wouldn't.
But it might have been the 724 thing that I think, you know, that they think I'm better than everybody. And I never thought I was a better rapper than anybody. I always said I'm a better hustler, but I'm not a better rapper.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
My hustle was always, I was always confident about my hustle.
Like I said, once you broke it down to me, you explained it to me, like I was like, oh, okay, I can respect that.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. You know what I mean? But initially, hell yeah, I was mad.
I understand.
No.
Yeah. So we did the Bankrupt Millionaire thing. We put out some mixtapes, but like I said, it wasn't nothing like it was supposed to be. We did the volume 1. We got a decent support on volume 1, but some people were still iffy about working with me in that street aspect. We even had Kills from Mullah Gang.
Yeah.
He produced some of the tracks, but he probably didn't want to work with me, you know what I mean? Like, but he was working with Droop, and they were more street oriented, you know what I mean? So they were making these connections. And so that's what happened with that one. And then we did the volume 1, then we did these 2. We did Chris's This Is Me, and then we did the King Sigels, that would end up being what Trey's name was. We did his project. Rest in peace to the Trey too.
Yeah, for sure.
But like I said, me and him just never got to see eye to eye, because, and you know, I think he explained it to me. He was like, man, he was locked up when his daughter was born or something like that. Over that situation. Yeah. Over that situation with the artist I was promoting.
That you were working with, yeah.
So he looked at me like,
You were a part of that.
Like I'm a part of that, yeah. And I wasn't there when that situation happened.
Yeah, you were no way affiliated with
I
that
didn't go
situation.
in the courtroom and testify. Like
Yeah.
there was no, I wasn't involved in that situation. Once that was something, you know, that they did on their own, and that something happened, and that's what happened with that. And so he always looked at me like I was on that side of the fence. You know what I mean? So we started off real rocky with that, and you know, I'm trying to tell Troop, and then I'm like, man, no, you know, I'm trying my hardest to like help us, you know, but he don't like me.
Right.
Like, but I shot his first couple of videos. I'm in Persian court and at nighttime shooting his video for him. You know what I mean? There's people there who want to kill me.
Right. Yeah.
And that's no joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, but you know, I did that for him, and it worked. You know, it worked out for a little bit. It just, you know, we could just tell it wasn't.
Just never picked up the traction.
You know, we did the volume 2, and when we did the volume 2, that's when I did that video with Nep, Count Money.
Okay.
Yeah. We did that video, and when we were doing that, like the support just wasn't there. Like we were having trouble getting people just to, like, we were pressing up CDs, putting it on that piff. I mean, you can't even get that piff's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. Yeah.
But you know, we were promoting them, and they wouldn't even want to submit. We couldn't even get tracks. So me, Droop, and Brandon, we're rapping again. And I'm like, I don't want to rap over it. You know,
I'm done with this aspect of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to be done with this. And you know what I mean? Like we're supposed to be putting on other people, and they didn't want to be rapping. They were old. Droop was older than me. He's like, well, I don't want to be rapping, doing videos. But guess what? When it came time to shoot the videos, we're the only ones.
You're the only ones there. Yeah.
So that's what we had to deal with. You know, Chris would do the videos, and you know, we get the trade videos, but we were trying to do, I mean, we basically tried to do what I tried to do with Money by Any Means, try to bring everybody together. And I thought maybe with some other dudes that it might work. It
might be more, yeah, it might have more potential to do it. Yeah.
And have money. And then but yeah, it didn't work out that way. Like, you know, we did a couple shows. I still did the shows by myself though. Like Bankrupt Millionaire performed with on the Lord of Infamous show.
He was just doing the promotion.
And yeah, and I still did the Money by Any Means because I put up all the money for that one. They didn't want to do that. They were more pickier than, you know, about
who they wanted to open up for.
And I, you know, I was like, man, I'm getting Lord Infamous because I can't pass up. It's the price. You know, I was getting the homie price almost for that one.
You were building a rapport with them. Yeah,
I was building a rapport with them. They just happened to be like close by, so I didn't have to pay for the travel.
Yeah,
they were giving me a great deal. So I was like, man, I gotta get on this. So, I mean, that's how you got to work that. You know, when you pay for someone to come directly to you, you're paying a lot more. If you catch them while they're en route, you get a better deal.
Yeah.
So you know, I skipped over this stuff, but we did a tour with Bubba Sparks. You know what I mean? That was after the show we did, because I mean we did that Mardi Gras tour with Bubba Sparks.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that was a whole different experience. I mean, and we only got to do a leg of it. But
how many cities did you do?
4. Yeah, so it was four shows, and you know, but you've been a part of that now, so
yeah,
you see how different that is. Like, it's a different aspect, and you know, it feels good to do something like that, be a part of something bigger.
Oh yeah, it's crazy
just being a part of that. But yeah, that's about it with that.
That's your story. You sticking to it?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if anything else I might have left out, but I mean,
so do you have any aspirations to be involved in music at this point?
Well, I didn't. You know what? I'll get into this. I brought Project Pat for my 30th birthday. That was the last shows I did.
Yeah.
I did a double show. We did April 5th. We did Morgantown, West Virginia, and then we did Washington, PA, April 6th, which is my birthday. I turned 30. I said I was going to stop rapping when I hit 30. Yeah. And so I kind of knew it was over at that show. And so I performed at the Morgantown one. And then we did the one at the VIP, and I kind of knew it was over, man. You've been around me at a lot of shows. I got so drunk, I couldn't even perform.
Really?
Like I didn't even go up and perform. And I
never even known you to drink like that.
Yeah, and I don't drink like that. I did party nice with the Young Bug one. I was up there drinking the goose and a little too much, but you know, that was my first one. But I got so drunk that I couldn't perform, and I didn't perform, and I just knew it was over then. Reality hit me at that point, and I said, you know what, I'm just enjoying myself, and I'm just going. This is my last one. This is it. My birthday. I'm just going out, and then that was the last show I did. So that kind of like was my going out thing, and I feel bad. I shouldn't have probably did that, but
No, I mean,
yeah, there's not. I was so. I don't even have footage of that show. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody. I don't even know if anybody recorded it. If you could, if you did, let me know.
Yeah, send that through.
But I didn't record it. I don't remember much of it. I was so drunk. I lost my keys, so I didn't have. My keys ended up in my cousin's purse, and she at the end of the day she wanted to autograph for Project Pat, so I took her up and introduced her, and I must have somehow either she grabbed my keys.
Said we need a show.
Yeah, and I put and you know I put up yeah, we need to the music scene needs to come back, that's for sure.
Yeah,
but yeah, I was so messed up that I didn't have keys, so I had to get a ride to the hotel I was in, and then I found out.
You said cuz wanted the autograph
yeah,
from Project Pat.
Yeah, so as we were leaving, I got, you know, I sent her up to there, and she got this the Way Too Major CD autograph. Yeah, this April.
Look, everybody's trying to.
Everybody wants to get on there. Yeah. But yeah,
that's what's up.
But yeah, that's what happened, and I was so messed up, man. I didn't have a ride, and then
shout out to y'all for sticking through the whole show.
Yeah, it's probably a long one.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And yeah, they, you know, and that at that time Steve wasn't around. Things just didn't feel right.
It didn't feel the same.
Yeah, it didn't feel the same, and that's why I think I got to that point where I was just like, man, this is it. I just knew. You know what else happened? Yeah, they said it's straight. Shout out this thing. You got so many artists now that we did back then. That's true. That's very true. And but here's another thing that you know, when I would roll deep to these shows, right? So when I did the first Project Pat show, it was a success in Morgantown, and I was in a new area, so like Morgantown's not my neck of the woods, so to say. You know what I mean? Like we're close, but like I don't know them.
You don't know nobody in Morgantown,
yeah. So I'm there with Black. Chris is there, I think, and yeah, Chris is there with Bankrupt Millionaire, and Trey and him was there. But after they performed, they watched a little of Pat and they bolted, and I'm at the end of the night. I'm walking out, me and my wife. I'm a girlfriend at the time, but I got all this money on me. I'm walking out the door with nobody. Everybody left me. You know what I mean? That's why I was going into the next show. I knew this was it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I even texted them like, "Yo, man, you know, I don't know if y'all want to do like anything can happen when I walk out this door."
Yeah.
You know, I know I got a pistol on me, but you know what I mean? Like
anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
And they, you know, they didn't really do shows with me, so they probably weren't familiar with it.
Yeah.
But like, I kind of felt like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, you could have my back a little bit. You know what I mean?
No, I feel
just
you.
in case, you know,
something did go down.
Something did go down. Yeah. So I had a bunch of money on me with it, you know, because people know that, you know what I mean? Like people know you. Like, so I told you, I said people to say they have all these problems with me. I had flyers every day
saying where you're at,
saying what time I'm going to be there, what day I'm going to be, and where I'm going to be at. So like anything could happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
But nothing ever did happen. But I mean, that was just my mind state at the time.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
so no aspirations for anything musical?
No, not for rapping. You know what I mean? Not for rapping. Like I said, me and Q had to sit down in 2018. He called me and said he wanted to get back together. We had we met up, had like lunch or dinner or something like that, and he was like, you know, I don't want to do money by any means. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm cool with that. You know, I was already doing other stuff. You know what I mean? It don't got to be that. And then,
was he thinking more like a management type situation?
Yeah, like me being behind it, like a manager and behind the stuff. But I was like, man, you know, you just gotta respect me. Like if I'm putting all my work into it, I gotta have my name on it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like my name's gotta be somewhere. Yeah. Would you do it without putting your name on it? You know what I mean?
No,
yeah, exactly. So we did. So I, you know, he was cool with it. He told me, and we, you know, I started getting them. He got some beats. I got some beats. We sent them back and forth. I got 2 covers made. It was going to be.
Oh, you was really in motion.
Yeah, we were in motion. I put a Facebook page out for, you know, promoting his new CD because he didn't really have like an artist page.
Mm-hmm.
I put it out, started to promote it just a wee little bit, just to test the waters. And then I just seen he wasn't wasn't like
Wasn't into
reciprocating.
it. Yeah.
It wasn't getting reciprocated back.
Yeah.
And you know, and I gave him some tracks, and then nothing happened with him, and then it just like fell apart.
Yeah.
So I was like, it ain't meant to be, man.
And that was that like your last run with it?
That was the last thing I did. Other than that, you know what I mean? I was going to do a management thing. There's been a couple people that asked me to do management for them. I just haven't had. If I'm not going to give it my all, man, I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? So that's how it's been.
Did you lose? Do you have that passion about music still?
I'd be lying if I said I had the same passion. I don't have the same passion.
It's different now.
It's definitely different now. Yeah. I mean, just coming up in that era, like I said, that was the golden era of Pittsburgh hip hop. It was just a different vibe.
Yeah,
and you know, I feel like it's gone. You know what I mean? I feel like the whole spirit's gone. The whole area's gone. I mean, I wish y'all would have supported the shows when they were here. We could have probably made it go a little farther. If we would have all supported each other, we would have probably made it a lot farther.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, if we'd all came together, had a nice open up for each other.
It could have been Atlanta.
It could have been Atlanta. Atlanta did it right. You know what I mean? They were one of the only ones to do it right.
Yeah.
I mean, New York was kind of get together at first, and the West Coast was kind of together, but Atlanta as a city just stuck together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We couldn't do that. Obviously, there was too many egos. I think
everybody wanted to be the one.
Yeah, and I didn't mind playing the background, honestly.
Yeah, I think, and that's what we need, more people like yourself who have the knowledge and the know-how, who don't mind not being the star or not being in the spotlight and playing a role. Yeah. There's too many people that don't want to play a role.
Yeah, and I honestly didn't want to be a rapper. Like I never planned to do solo CDs.
Yeah, it was more out of necessity.
More out of necessity. What happened was when it was time to put the money up, I was the only one to put the money up. So then I just thought, well, if I'm the only one to put the money up, I'm just going to put it in for myself.
Yeah.
So it kind of came out of a necessity, like you said, you know. And then, I don't know, but we did get into this one. I didn't get into this one, but I did. My last CD I put out was with T-Rock. He's from Atlanta.
Okay.
You said that. And he was with the Hypnotized Camp Posse.
Okay.
Mafia.
Still rocking with them. Yeah.
Yeah. And I did, again, Lil Ari produced that whole CD, and Lil Ari hit me up when the CD came out, and he was like, "Yo, Juicy J texted me and asked who you were."
That's fire. That's probably hella unexpected. Yeah.
And he's like, "Who the hell's JP?" And yeah, that was unexpected. I thought that was pretty dope. Just to somehow I got on his
Juicy
radar.
J's radar.
Yeah. And you know, maybe because you know Lil Ari was producing for Juicy J at the time. Right after that CD came out with Bands and Make Her Dance.
Yeah.
The next CD, Lil Ari was on there producing and stuff like that. So a lot of his stuff.
You were working with him in close proximity.
Yeah. And he I mean, they had beef with T-Rock, I think, at that time. So I don't know if he heard. I don't know if he heard maybe how Lil Ari got beats on T-Rock CD. You know what I mean? I don't know but somehow it came up on his radar.
That's crazy.
But yeah, that was pretty dope to hear.
Hell yeah, man. No. The whole story was dope, and hopefully, you know, people got something out of it. I know I did.
Yeah.
I learned some things that I didn't know about you, and like I said, I know me for one. I appreciate all of your contribution to the hip hop scene. Definitely. I think it was vital. It was important. It was necessary.
Yeah.
It shone light in the area, and I know for me personally, it was important to my growth process, and certainly added to my career catalog. Opened up for artists like Young Buck and D12 and Bizarre.
Yeah, I forgot about Bizarre. I didn't bring him up. Yeah, we did that one too.
You know, artists from Young Money like Gutter.
Yep.
And, you know, the list goes on and on. Yeah. And I appreciate you being a part of that process and your contribution to the scene as a whole.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me and shining some light on that, because you know, I think, you know, when I got with the Bankrupt Millionaire people, they kind of said that they felt like a lot of people was trying to steal what I did, you know what I mean? And try to like not give me my credit for it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were like, these dudes are like rapping like they're here because of them, but they're here because of you. You know what I mean? You're the one that brought them here. But you know, so that's what they were trying to tell me. And like, I don't know how, you know, true it is or how everybody else looks at it. But like, you know, I was the one that connected all the dots between bringing every artist.
They can't take that from you, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
They can't take that from you 100%.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. And then I hope I hope you know, someone else comes through and does what I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I'd be willing, like I said, I could talk to anybody and try to put them in the right direction and try to give them the, any knowledge, any hustle that they need. I mean, you just gotta hustle with this business, man, and you gotta have goals, and you gotta spend money to make money.
You gotta have a vision.
Yeah, you gotta have that vision.
You gotta have focus.
Focus.
You gotta have discipline.
Yep.
And you gotta be careful who you surround yourself with too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, that's
a
moral of that story too, right? You
Yeah.
gotta be careful of the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
Early on, and you know what I mean, they might make decisions that affect you unbeknownst to you.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, maybe part of it was maybe I shouldn't have did a record label thing. Maybe I should have stayed, with that.
That's fire.
You're welcome, bro. Thank you for being there for some of the best times. Definitely. We had some great times. We had some great times. I mean, we did things we never thought we were going to do. That's just put it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, as for music stuff, I meant to tell you this. I do plan on putting some stuff out, but just no new stuff.
Right. You don't plan on recording anything?
No, I don't plan on recording anything. I do got a CD called The Best of the Best, Volume 1. I'm gonna put out, and it's just gonna take all my best features that I did. Because honestly, if you look at, how you said I came up on Project Pat's, discography.
Discography.
When you come up on that, like, you don't realize, like, when I was putting out these CDs, I didn't realize certain things. So, like, I put.
You didn't know the internet was going to be what it is.
We didn't know what that was going to turn into.
Right.
And so I put Project Pat and JP. And when you search JP, like, I really don't. It comes up with Project Pat, but not for me. So, like, when you look at my discography, it's a little different. And so I just want to put that out there, just to, I'm gonna put all my best features on there and try to put something else out.
Yeah, make sure y'all check that out if y'all get a chance to. How can they find you on streaming platforms and all that?
You just put JP Mr.724. That'll come up on anything. Everything that I showed you today is on all platforms, all streaming. Project Pat JP, T-Rock JP, White Boys Wasted, all that stuff's on there. I'm gonna re-release this and not put it under the group name. Like, I put it under White Boys Wasted.
Yeah.
Not knowing at that time, if I put it under Lil White, it's gonna catch some more traction.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna
like we said, the streaming wasn't what it is now, so you had no idea.
So I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna release. Actually, that's gonna come out right before 420. I'm gonna put that out.
Hell yeah.
I got it ready for that. And then I'm gonna put that Best of the Best out. Like, I worked with I didn't touch on this. I worked with Mr.724 from No Limit.
Oh yeah, that is right. Yeah.
I worked with Young Noble with the Outlaws. I did a track with him. That I didn't put that out on any, like, streaming platforms or anything like that. I'm trying to think what else I might have did. But just stuff like that, I'm gonna put it on there, and I feel like people need to see what I did a little bit more. So I think it'll draw a little bit more attention to that. I just want
definitely.
This is a project I want to put together of all my features, my best features anyway. And then I'm trying to think if there's anything else I was going to do. I actually put something else out. That Lord Infamous, I just put it out. I re-released it.
Okay.
Fire and Ice.
Yeah.
And this should show you how humble I am and how my hustle works, I guess, a little bit. I put it out first, and then I did a dragged and chopped version. I don't know if you saw.
Oh, that's fire. Yeah.
Actually, a dude hit me up, DJ K6, and he did one of the songs. I was like, man, this is dope, because I never heard.
He chopped and screwed one.
Yeah, I never heard my voice. And then my songs chopped and screwed,
yeah,
dragged and chopped like that. And I was like, man, this is dope. I said, would you do the whole thing? He's like, yeah, man, I'll do the whole thing. And he did the whole thing, and I paid him a little money to do it. And then I released it under Dragged and Chopped. I did that a while ago, probably like 2015 maybe. And then people, Lord Infamous, that I told you about, the diehard fans, they're like, no offense, but man, we want to just have Lord Infamous on these beats.
Damn.
And, taking a shot at me too, but guess what? I took myself off, put them all on. I put them all on there, and just put Lord Infamous on.
Hell yeah.
And I put it as, I put it out there. So look it up, Lord Infamous. What I put it on there, Lord Infamous Fire and Ice, and I put I forget what I called it, but straight killer, no filler.
No, that's brilliant. No, that's brilliant.
And I'm gonna give them what they want. If that's because rest in peace, Lord Infamous. If the fans want to hear him by himself,
Right.
because I was able to put him. They were so happy to get that CD because I put him on the beats that they wanted him on.
Right.
Like he was on.
You catered to his sound.
Yeah, the production matched his
style.
sound, so they wanted it with just him, and I understand that. I mean, I ain't gonna miss an opportunity to make any money.
Right. Right. And give the people what they want at the same time.
Yeah. So that is 3 releases I got coming. You know, I did that one already. It's out. So you put Fire and Ice, Lord Infamous, it'll come up.
Check
and then
that
I'm
out.
gonna do Lil White. I'm gonna just put Lil White JP bars, and then a White Boy Wasted, and that'll catch Lil White's streams. You know what I mean? I'm trying to catch that streaming with that, because honestly, I'm trying to I'll give everybody else a little thing. Like I don't invest my stuff in the money, music anymore. So if y'all are out there and you want to, do a Roth IRA and put your money into that and try to retire, you know what I mean? You don't want to worry. That's another just little gem to give people.
Hell yeah.
What I mean? You eventually you got to retire and you don't want to worry about the government taking care of you.
Yes.
So you want to, protect yourself.
100%. That's big.
Because you don't know what you do. So if you want to get a Roth IRA and max that out every year, and then when you retire, you could be a millionaire if you do it correctly. S&P 500, just invest in that. So I'm trying to invest in stocks and real estate, and I'm trying to get away from that's what I've been trying to work on from the music thing.
Trying to take the music and do what you were doing with that, taking another avenue.
In a different avenue. Yeah, that's just my thing.
No, that's brilliant. I try to I'm trying to do the same thing myself. I actually just started planning towards some of that you're speaking of. I've been in stocks like since the pandemic because I thought it was a great time to strike.
Yeah.
I was watching the stuff and learning about it prior to, but I seen the way things were just sinking. I was like, I'm gonna buy.
Yeah.
It was blood in the water.
Time to buy.
Yeah, it was blood in the water.
Yeah.
And I kind of got into it in a bigger level at that point.
Yeah.
But you're right. That is things you got to do. And essentially the banks are just doing that to you. So if you got money in savings, it's much better served to put it in something that's going to be more high interest earning as opposed to just sitting there. Yeah. Essentially your money is supposed to go make you more money.
Yeah. You make your money work for you.
Right.
So that's the whole thing. That's the whole game plan.
Yeah.
So you want to make that money work for you when you're sleeping. You know what I mean? I do a lot of dividend investing.
Yeah.
Get that dividend money.
Get that high yield dividends. Yep.
Just you're already on it. So
no, yeah, for sure. I always take more game. I'll take more game.
If anybody's out there listening, I mean, I try to, help people as much as I can, you know what I mean? And I feel like they don't teach you this stuff in schools.
They don't. Yeah.
You come out here and you get blindsided by what you want to buy, and you spend all this money to kind of you spend money to look rich, but you really broke, and that's what they want you to do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because real rich people don't wear their wealth.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't see them guys with no chain. That's why you never seen Mark Zuckerberg with no chain.
Exactly.
On.
So you don't do that, and you just go and and that's the way I'm trying to. Anytime I can tell somebody that, because I feel like I wish I was told that at an earlier age.
Right. Yeah.
And we kind of got robbed from that, because they don't teach that in schools. They want you to go to college. They want you to spend all that money.
Spend more money. Yeah.
And it's kind of like get you in the rat race.
They want you to be in that hole to them.
Yep.
But the beautiful thing about that, because I learned a lot of finances like YouTube, just finding guys that, because they'll give you the game.
YouTube's amazing, man.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
You can repair your car. You can invest. You can do whatever you want.
I've done both of those things.
YouTube is amazing.
I've changed my headlight. Like I ain't taking this motherfucker to nobody. Let me go find out how. All right, cool.
Yeah, I'll do that. Cool. Sometimes you get it all apart. You're like, damn, this looked a lot easier.
It looked a lot easier when dude did it. This shit ain't fitting.
Yeah,
Jesse can't relate. He's like, I know how to work on cars. Y'all don't know how to do that
shit. He's probably the one making the video. But see, there you go. There's an avenue. Make some videos of working on cars. Them things get crazy views.
They get crazy views. Hell yeah, I'm one of the motherfuckers viewing it. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm one of them dudes.
Because I don't know how to work on nothing.
Me neither, bro.
But I work myself through some things.
Yeah, hell yeah. Figured it out, right? Just like anything else. Figured it out.
I figured it out. Yeah.
Fucking right.
But yeah, hopefully you get maybe you get some somebody on here that can elaborate on what I've talked about.
I think we will. We got somebody coming next week that's going to be real special. I don't like to say ahead of time just in case they don't come.
Yeah,
that's why I never say the next week's guest on the previous episode. But
you don't know if they're going to come or not.
But I got somebody coming on next week who's behind the scenes in music, and he he has a management company and a radio station and all sorts of cool stuff that he does
Yeah, that's dope.
behind the scenes. And he even does management for one of the artists I had come on here.
Yeah.
And got him a lot of motion. So it's going to be cool to follow up a lot of stuff that you said with him as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I like that. And like I said, I put my disclaimer out there before. Like I have no bad blood with anybody that I work with.
Yeah.
Like hopefully they feel the same way with me. I've only tried to help people. You know what I mean?
Man.
And I try to do my best. I might have messed up a couple of times here and there, but
as we all do.
We all do.
We all fall.
It was all in good intentions.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I've done way more for anybody than, you know what I mean, that I could have, like I feel like
you've done as much as you can.
Yeah.
And then
so like if even if I did anything that was, that you feel was spiteful or wrong,
yeah,
like it
was never with any ill intent.
No, never was. And with whatever, like when I did things, it was just to do it, you know what I mean, to benefit everybody.
Right.
Like the way I look at people, like when it comes down to, like I said, that money like thing, I've invested. I know if you think I stole, let's say $300, I know I've invested more than $3,000 in
right.
Maybe probably closer to $30,000. You know what I mean? More than that. So like, I know I've done my share. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I hope I helped everybody that I could.
You got the receipts for it, huh?
I got the receipts. Yeah, I can show you what I got. I mean, I got receipts for everything. Like I said,
you got that.
You see, I still got stuff from back in the day. I keep my receipts for everything.
He had that LLC, so he was doing them taxes on them. He knows how much.
Yeah, right.
He knows how much he spent on.
And that's another thing. Like anybody wants, I kind of messed up with that too. I did my LLC in Delaware.
Damn.
Is it like a tax thing?
That's what I was about to say. That, yeah.
And I probably should have just did it through Pennsylvania and claimed my losses and did it the correct way. But it's all about learning. You know what I mean? I didn't have no one teaching me.
You was figuring out as you went.
Just figuring out how I was when it sounded the best way. Like I think at Delaware and Vegas is the only two. Like as long as you pay them your taxes,
you don't have to worry about the federal government.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So,
more game. But apparently don't do that. He said he ain't happy with the outcome.
No, I would rather claim my losses, I think, and did it the correct way and got my money for that. I mean, do business the right way.
Yeah.
I mean, we all make mistakes.
As long as we learn from them.
That's right.
Hell yeah. And I appreciate everyone joining us on our world's dopest podcast.
Yeah.
Down here at a bunch of Bull Studios.
Yeah,
definitely. I hope you had a good time, bro.
I had a good time, man. I appreciate you.
It was good catching up with you.
Good catching up with you. I haven't seen you in a while, so it was great to catch up. And I'm glad you had me down here.
Yeah, me too, man.
I said, I'm happy to be here.
Hopefully y'all got something out of it.
Yeah, I hope so.
Make sure y'all tune in next week. We'll be back with another special guest for you down here at Bunch of Bull Studio, Marley State of Mind podcast. Until then.